Welcome back!
We're back.
This is group 2.
Group 2. So there's a lot of stress and anxiety in this room right now.
Actually, very true. A lot of people, like, they kind of saw what the earlier group is doing, and now they're like, the stakes are so high.
So
No
this
pressure.
is the ZBrush Sculpt-Off for the summit for 2018. And the theme this year is tarot. So tarot cards. So we have all these little cards here.
They got us a lovely deck of art. Now, there's been many tarot decks made with like all kinds of crazy art and really amazing, wonderful things. So there's a lot of inspiration for artists to pull from.
And so the artists themselves were able to send us a list of some of the major arcana and also minor arcana cards. And then what we did is we had them pick their top 5 cards in which they would like to sculpt. And then their names were drawn out of a hat, and we picked down the list to the first pick that they had that wasn't already taken. So we're going to have, with Group 1 and Group 2, which has 12 hard surface and 12 organic, there'll be a deck of 12 cards for the organic side with no duplicates. And then on the hard surface side, there'll be another deck of 12 with no duplicates for that. So it should be very interesting. Now, Jessica and I have no clue what cards they're sculpting.
Yes.
0.
We also don't know who's sculpting what from our view of the screens.
Correct.
We've got kind of, you know, people around, but we can't see their computer screens except for here on our monitors.
So we're trying to
with
keep
you.
this as anonymous as possible throughout the event here. So just to make sure it is even. Also, in addition to this year we have removed from the artist the ability to bring in custom brushes, custom materials. They have to start from a vanilla or blank slate ZBrush install. So this means we installed ZBrush. They're allowed to bring in a text file that contains their hotkeys and a text file that contained their brush UI, but nothing else. And so it was a completely blank canvas. So what you see here can be done if you just install ZBrush. So they're free to use anything that installs with ZBrush, so they can use any of the projects, any of the insert mesh brushes. So a lot of creativity, they can go through and do that.
Yeah, all of this is very easily attainable with hours of effort, skill, and training.
And you'll see it today. We got some of the best here, hammering it out through these 3 hours, getting to where they need to be. So we're going to quickly hit to our sponsors, and then we'll go through the schedule, and then we'll start the timer. So we're going to be starting here in about 9 minutes. So no one should be starting yet.
Yeah, everybody should be blank.
Just letting them know.
Saw a little bit on the computers. Whoa,
whoa.
no,
No, not yet.
guilty?
There's no bell, and the bell's loud. You'll know. You'll know. All right, so we want to thank our sponsors quick. So we want to thank Carbon. They're giving our third place winners a print of their choice. And then we also want to thank Formlabs. They were kind to give us the first place winning prizes. So there'll be 2 Form 2s. The winner of the hard surface and the winner organic will both be receiving a printer from Formlabs. We also want to thank Gnomon. They are graciously allowing us to use all their classrooms again and space, their campus. So we're in one of their Gnomon campus studios or classrooms here right now. And we have unplugged stuff and done all sorts of things.
We have changed a lot of things around to accommodate all these artists
to allow
and
us to do
cameras.
this. Yes. I also want to thank Keyshot. So on the machines, the users are using Keyshot and the ZBrush to Keyshot bridge to allow to send and render their models. And finally, we want to thank Wacom for allowing us and giving us the Cintiqs and tablets that the artists are using for this event as well.
That's true. We have the most Cintiq users this year.
We do. We are stacked
before.
with Cintiqs users.
Bless Wacom's heart.
So thank you to our sponsors for the event here and gracious sponsors. Let's go quickly to the schedule. So today is Thursday, so this is the start of the summit, but it's not the public start. So only the artists for the competition for the Sculpt-Off are allowed on the campus today. For Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we have 3 days, and the summit starts at 12 tomorrow. And so you can show up on site here at the LA Gnomon campus here. And admission is free to the summit, so if you're around, you want something to do, come on out, join us.
Meet
a lot of
artists.
fun.
Come watch demos.
That's right. Now, one thing on the schedule here that will not be broadcast, so most of the stuff on here will be broadcast across the world, so the workshops at the bottom will not be. They need to be on site, and they're also paid, and I think they're all full now.
Good.
Also, the Sunday 12:30 presentation of Epic Games, that is only going to be able to be viewed if you're here locally. So that is not going to be able to be streamed. So if you want to see that presentation, you have to be here on site. Also, if you're here on site, we're also doing the ZBrush Michelangelo Challenge. And so this will allow, we took 15 minutes, and you can take 15 minutes and then come through and sculpt into this challenge. And this challenge involves the winner taking home a Ultimaker 3 extended printer. So this is another on-site event. You have to be here in person to do this as well. So what time we got? We're almost there. 5 minutes.
How are we?
I think we're 5 minutes. I got to find my phone. There's a clock there, but I don't know if it's right. Let's check this out.
7 minutes.
7 minutes. Okay. So we're going to go through what the winners here. So here are the belts. And these are the championship belts. These are actual real heavy belts.
Yeah,
These are the
legit.
wrestling belts. They're legit. So we go all out for this. So if you win the Sculpt-Off, you take home one of these bad boys. We also have a ringside bell here, which we're going to ring here in 6 minutes now. And it's very loud. And then we will start the competition. What else are we missing?
Well, we have a whole thing about who's competing, but that's not yet. But the prizes are legit, and we've had quite a few Sculpt-Offs to date, and some of the most amazing artists have competed. Just really like incredible artists.
Yeah, so let's go down the lineup, and then we'll start this off. So let's
show off who's
in
who.
this group too.
Pew, pew, pew. Really amazing artists, right?
We're ready. All right, so we're gonna turn here to the clock, and we're gonna ring the bell. You got the button to start the timer?
Are we starting stuff that soon?
Hey, we got 4 minutes. Up to you. We can talk for another.
What if people at home are like
They're getting ready at
grabbing
themselves.
a coffee so that they can watch all the epic?
All right. We'll give them
Off to the
the
races?
3 minutes. 3 minutes. Just zen out.
Oh wait.
Oh, we
you
gotta
know-
pick our tarot cards.
You know what I haven't done for you?
We need to do this.
I'm gonna tell your fortune. Pick a card, any card.
I'm going for the tower.
Oh my God!
Going
If he
for the
goes for his tower.
I got the world.
The world. That's complicated.
So
like
we're going to be reading out
artistically,
some of the trivia on these, or the history of these cards as well, as this progresses through here. As we are your co-pilots for the venture
The world. Jeez.
of the
Louise.
Group 2 Sculpt-Off.
All right. Assured success. You know what? You should have picked that card to begin with. The voyage, emigration, flight, change of place. But it's assured success.
Assured. What was it upside down? Because I think that's how I drew it.
Inertia, stagnation.
Stagnation.
So I think you want it right side up.
Probably better.
All right.
All right. We are at 3:57.
Empress. I like this card.
All right. Can I start it yet?
Okay, fine.
Okay. All right. So Group 2. Get
Group
ready.
2 artists, are you guys
ready.
prepared for this?
You ready to start the timer?
All right, we're gonna do it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So loud.
And we're off. All right. So now let's fire up the
Yes.
board here. We'll go to organic first.
Let's see where they started. Nice.
And as you can see, they did have a fresh install of ZBrush, but they could bring in their hotkeys, their UI, and then they're allowed to use anything. So you see we've got
I see a lot
people
of
using
really
Julie.
well.
The Julie model is also the female demo head. We've got a sphere. Got also some
The
anatomy
crochet
models down the bottom.
model.
And all these were open. So
Yeah.
we wanted to challenge the artists for the competition this year to not only be or have 3 hours, but we also want to add see if they had any creativity and things they can pull from just standard assets. Like what can you do with a model that already exists? Like, well, if I need a skull, I can take this model and chop off the head. There I have a skull.
Nice.
If I need fists, big burly fists, I can take Earthquake
Huge demonic.
from Samurai Showdown, just chop off his arm.
You
and put
love
it on there. I
Earthquake.
do love Earthquake. He's my go-to.
You know what? Actually, it is a really cool model.
So we'll be starting out probably in the 6th view here, so you guys can see the progression and the initial stages these guys go into. And then after that, we'll transition into probably a little bit close-ups here and there. Because at this stage, all the artists are probably primarily thinking about silhouette and shape.
Yeah, and I mean, I think we can see everybody who's working from sort of like a character card and not like a abstract concept card.
And also another thing too, since we didn't allow any of the artists to bring their own custom brushes, some of them at this stage would go through and make their own.
Oh, that's
So
true.
in the last group, we had a few people that came through and generated their own brushes and then started using those.
Nice.
Let's hop over to hard surface. These guys are starting off. Looks like a banana in the middle. I'm gonna go with the moon though.
It's the moon! All right, that one at least, I feel pretty solid about that actually. Like I don't feel misled at all.
I think we got that one. That one, I think we're good. I think we can guess that one.
I'm super stoked to see where it's going. Because we don't know what cards they're sculpting, it's actually really exciting for us to watch the symbolism and all of the different character stuff come together. So you guys are welcome to guess along with us. Absolutely. And in fact, we super, super welcome it. We love hearing what you guys have to say because sometimes we're really stumped. Obviously, these folks have been researching their card,
Yes.
their whole idea, a lot longer than we have.
We did give them about a month out to, they got the topic, which is tarot. And then what we did, so they each chose a card. And actually, they gave us we gave them a set of cards they could pick from. Each of them went through and picked their top 5 choices they wanted to sculpt, and then we drew their names out of the hat. And when your name came up, they'd go down the list and see which card you did not was still available, and that became your card.
Nice.
So
So
we're
they at
getting-
least got like their top 5 favorite
Yes.
out of
Yes.
44 different cards?
Yes, it was about 44 different cards. And we're able to pull from the major arcana and then also the minor arcana. So the Sculpt-Off here, we're trying to keep it as anonymous as possible and focus primarily on the art. So we will not be mentioning any of the artists' names or anything else as this is happening. And also, as me and Jessica mentioned earlier, we don't know what card they're sculpting either. So there's 2 elements of what are they doing?
Yeah.
Which kind of leads to some guessing.
But that's the fun part.
It is the fun part.
Because like art is interpretive and suggestive and I don't know. I hope you guys enjoy this as much as we do.
And once these are finished, they will be up for voting on ZBrushCentral.com, and you'll be able to go to ZBrush Central. The voting starts tomorrow, and you'll be able to go through. Each of the artists were given a template that looks like a tarot card, so it has its own little tarot card border. They're all in this kind of portrait format, which is also kind of a non-common thing for a lot of people. If they're rendering 16:9, not everybody's doing portrait.
Yeah, but long form is actually really great for cell phones, Instagram,
yes, this is true.
and Photoshop, or Facebook. So these are all like places that I hope every artist is really so proud of their artwork that after the competition is done, they'll still post and share everything that they worked on.
And this is live. This is group 2, so this is not a replay. Group 1 happened at 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., and this is the second group of artists. We start here at 4 p.m. and we will be going for 3 hours, ending at 7 p.m.
Definitely root on anybody that you see looks really cool. Like call out your favorite thing or what you really like, or maybe
what you
a
think
technique
yeah.
you think is cool. We have an expert sitting right here on techniques and cool brushes and shit. So
And also, we'd love to see how you guys are watching the summit. So if you take a picture of how you're viewing this, you know, we've seen people, I think we've had a lot of people posting how they're
We are live, ghost of Christmas future. We can see you.
We can see you. I only see the Christmas past. I don't see the future.
Are you Scrooge?
Might be. Yeah, so send it in your images of how you're watching the summit. Hashtag ZBrush Summit.
Yes. We've actually had a bunch of folks that are here at Nomen watching in the break and joining us from there. Like, folks are posting their photos over on Twitter and on Instagram and on Facebook. Like, we really love that you guys love this stuff. Like, watching really amazing artists sculpt is beyond satisfying.
So right now, they're all blocking out their forms, trying to get their silhouettes. And once again, they were given the ability to use anything that came with the installed version of ZBrush. So they couldn't bring their own custom brushes or any of their custom materials, but they were allowed to use anything that was available. So anything inside Lightbox, there's a bunch of starting projects that are in there. There's also a bunch of brushes that contain different parts. And they could pull from any of these and use it in their creations.
You know, ZBrush Vanilla comes with a lot of really amazing tools, references. So even if you're like still learning and you want something to look at that's like high anatomy stuff, like they've got reference right there for you that you can view in 3D that will help you advance your own sculptures really, really well. It works out really well for these folks because they don't have to reinvent the wheel for certain things. But we are really, really excited to see how they manipulate all of those different meshes or tools and whatnot to create their own vision.
Yeah, so we're gonna see some crazy stuff here. You're gonna see people getting a lot of shape and emotion even in things.
I love it.
Think the Fool?
Oh my gosh, I hope so. So I drew the Fool card this morning. No fools. I'm pretty certain that there were no fools. Like, I would have noticed. But maybe, I hope. And the Fool kind of represents not just like foolishness itself, but rather delirium and mania, like this just like level of like excitement and just feeling things that's like beyond the scope, and possibly it can lead it into danger, but like just as like a concept for a character that can go so many different directions.
It can go all over the place.
That's why this particular theme I like the most so far. Yes.
And we had some comments about watching this. If you guys like watching the Sculpt-Off here and the summit as well, there's also, we have a ZBrushLIVE page. If you go to pixologic.com/ZBrushLIVE, we have a whole crew of artists that stream on the channel, our Pixologic channel on Twitch. And you can download a schedule of the channel, and you can just tune in, you know, pretty much, it's almost 24/7 through the week, and you can just watch people. And some of the artists here that are in the competition are actually some of our streamers.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, there's just so much great content. And if you like watching artists' art, yeah, this is the place to get that fix.
The place to get it, yeah. And definitely, if you have any questions, we've got people monitoring the chat on Twitch as well, so you can type them in. I think we have people monitoring all the chats that's being viewed in.
Oh, nice.
So all sorts of stuff here happening. A lot of polygrouping.
Yeah, I'm really curious what all the polygrouping for the hair is. Oh, is it just for like...
I'm gonna go with hair. And you can do like curls or like things and pull them out.
Awesome.
Wild hairstyles.
Dope to see where that goes. Actually, I really like the wide variety of like caricature styles that we've got going
All this
on.
group has started with heads, which is interesting.
Well, they're organic, so I'm thinking that most of them started with a very character-centric card.
But in the other group for the organic side, we didn't get as much facial stuff out the gate. I think we had some like...
No, you're right. It was a lot more. Well, we were getting a lot of what seemed to be like knights and like large overall body kind of concepts. I'm glad that the groups are so vastly different already off the bat. It just makes it really interesting to watch, like everybody's different approach.
All right, let's hop over to hard surface side here. See how those guys are doing.
Yeah, we gave them about 7 minutes to kind of cook their ideas. We'll see.
And it's crazy to see how much it changes in that 7 minutes.
Yeah. Well, especially with that like masking, extracting method for hard surface stuff. Because like you take your base dude and you pull out all these shapes that you want to like interchange and overlap with each other. It's a quick workflow. It works super, super great for concepting and for high poly models. Not so great for production, but that's not the point. The point is to get like badass stuff
in the time period, yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think this top right one is, number 3?
Oh, with the bird? You know, there's a couple cards in my deck that have the bird. Like the world that you picked.
Oh, that is birds?
It features a lot of different animals. So the world isn't just people, it's people and animals. All this. So maybe.
Mecha birds.
I feel that we've already had a tower in hard surface, so I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, because we can kind of...
I was hoping someone would choose the hermit. I'm really...
Oh, there still could be a chance.
No, you're right. I shouldn't despair.
So if you guys are just tuning in, this is the ZBrush Summit Live Sculpt-Off. This is Group 2. So we have 6 hard surface contestants and 6 organic contestants battling it out right now. This is the second group, so we had a first group this morning that consisted of 6 and 6 as well. So this is the final contestants here. The voting for the competition is going to be based on a single image, and it's going to end up looking like a tarot card, which is the theme this year. And tomorrow, voting will open for that, so you can go for your favorite image out of this. And the contestants here have 3 hours total, so that consists of the sculpting, the image generation, the saving that file. 3 hours is all they have in order to get this done.
That is so fast.
So fast.
But the most entertainment. That's why they were all a little bit high stress.
Oh yes.
Before it began. I'm pretty sure that they're all chilling down into their groove. Like these are all really professional artists.
I think all of Group 2 is at a bar, or all of Group 1 is at a bar right now.
Oh my gosh, I don't blame them. They gotta shake out all that adrenaline. Mm-hmm. Oh, do we have some more shadow boxing going on?
Shadow boxing. I like this. This is appropriate for the Sculpt-Off, for the belts.
Yeah, shadow boxing is the right word for it. And we've got boxing, ring.
So belts. In the bottom corner, number 4.
So I think they're making a 3-dimensional mesh by using masking.
Shadow boxing or masking? Yeah, no, shadow box.
Yeah, shadow box.
You gotta take that solo off though. It's a solo button. It's a solo button. I can't yell at him though. Can't yell at him.
You can't instruct the contestants.
This is true, I cannot. It's gonna happen.
Wait for it.
Wait for it. All right, we're going back.
We're waiting.
We're going back. We're going back.
I really like the idea of taking such a esoteric concept and turning it into like a hard surface creation. Mm-hmm. Like, I've never seen hard surface, like robotic, mechanical versions of the tarot. I mean,
I haven't seen any. I don't think you're right.
But it's not on my radar.
Yeah. Would you say that the hard surface group may have a more challenging contest?
You know, I used to believe that. Like ZBrush, a couple of versions ago, didn't support hard surface nearly as much as it does now. But like seeing the talent each year here at the Sculpt-Off coming in and doing hard surface work, I don't know, like their methods and workflows are very intuitive for artists. And while there is a challenge, I actually think that the more challenges you get with a creative competition, the more you have a chance to rise up and create something like really interesting, original, kind of like mind-bending. You love it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, challenging, but I believe in them. I do though. Like they're stellar.
All right, let's go back over to organic. Let's see if we can see. So we know the moon. I'm pretty sure we got the moon.
Yes, definitely a moon in the mix. I'm gonna pull that aside since we know it for sure.
This one could be I think the Fool. I like the Fool
really
for that one.
like that you call it, and I agree right now.
And number 4 on the bottom definitely looks like the Fool.
Mm-hmm. Only because he's grinning quite maniacally.
Yes, and he's got those.
And very somber characters for the rest of the deck.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So if you're just tuning in, this is the ZBrush Summit 2018 live Sculpt-Off. This is group 2.
Bottom middle has such a great approach to just shapes and forms. Like that already looks so impressive. I'm into it.
Yeah, so for the Sculpt-Off, we're trying to keep it as anonymous as possible as well. So we don't even know who the artists are in the stream here.
At all.
We're staring at our little TVs right here, and the artists are all behind us.
Yeah, we don't want to accidentally say something that might spoil anything with the very anonymous voting process, and just all that goes into making sure that the voting is as fair as possible.
Yes,
so like
keep
the
it
art
focused
rise
on
up.
the art. Yeah.
Yeah. Just some really cool stuff, like with the beads around the head. It's just a really smart way of doing it. What are the chances that it's going to be kind of like a halo thing that's like drawn out? Or...
Could be. Replicating shapes with a curve. So we got anybody up online watching this that's where it's midnight or after in the morning?
I saw somebody say that they're going to end up having to stay up until 3 a.m. just to watch
3 a.m.
everything. You guys from all around the world, super appreciate you.
So we also gave him a spotlight frame that you can see being used to kind of line up the shapes there.
Super smart.
So then kind of see the card as it will be in the final
Yeah, because
image.
what you guys are going to vote on is actually just the final image, where all of this three-dimensional shape stuff is going to be framed in
Rendered,
camera,
yeah.
composited together into like what looks like an actual tarot card at the end. All right, bottom right is either going to be the Empress or the Emperor, the Hierophant, like a couple of the ones that are all in thrones.
All in thrones, you think?
Yeah. So I've got those 3 that I'm setting to the side a little bit.
Oh, we got a 5 a.m., a 2 a.m.,
Lordy,
and a
you guys
1
are
a.m.
hardcore. 1 a.m. already in Norway.
Now, have you gone to sleep yet, or are you still awake?
They're sleep typing.
Let's hop over.
Took a little brief 2-hour nap while we went and had a break.
They could have.
Dedication. Ooh, look at the mech down in the bottom left.
It's getting bulky.
This is going to be interesting because it's still just a robot right now, and it's not like filling out the details like it could be carrying swords or
This is true, yeah.
wands or something. We don't know where it's going to go, and that's just really exciting just to watch them think. Would you trust a robot if it approached you and looked kind of like this? With
Probably
the
not.
Praying mantis head? You're like, you're gonna eat me.
Alexa will just say stuff at random every once in a while. It's like, oh, I don't trust Alexa.
Ooh, I had my phone like turn on the voice listening service when I hadn't said or done anything, but I happened to be talking about some famous hacks that occurred in the last couple of years, and I was like, well, that's a little bit trippy.
So much Twilight Zone.
It super is. The future is now. I like it. The robots are on my side.
So there's a group of 12 hard surface and a group of 12 organic. And those are the number of contestants in here. So there'll be 1 winner of the hard surface and 1 winner of the organic. So the hard surface are only competing with the hard surface, and the organic is only competing against the organic.
That's a really fair way of dividing it up.
And there we have all our hard surface here. We're getting close to being 30 minutes in here. On the venture.
Yeah, only 30 minutes. Like, oh, you rounded up hardcore again. It's been 20 minutes total.
I said it's almost 30 minutes. I didn't say it was.
Almost 30 minutes is like 28 minutes. You know what? You know how the organic guys were working on faces predominantly? Mm-hmm. I feel like the hard surface guys are working on a lot of faces.
This is true. I don't think we had this much in the group one.
That's really cool. It's like a completely different approach this afternoon than the guys this morning.
Mm-hmm. The other thing too, I wonder, so since we haven't broken into two groups, I know some of the contestants in this group are watching the other ones and they were...
Wait a minute, that's not the one I wanted. 1, 2, 3.
3 it is. We got some ZModeler stuff there.
It's super cool, but like I was watching this guy duplicate some panels and then shape them around the helmet. And I thought that was just like such a clever technique to like spend your time and effort on one section and then iterate it so you get like a kind of shape language that's consistent across the model, but I don't know.
It gives you a nice breakup in the transitions too, so you could definitely get that hard edge where the transition happens, which draws your eye.
Okay, we can go back to the
to
all of them. It was really cool. Did you want to see some of the ZModeler stuff? Because, you know, you see a lot of folks going in, like extracting stuff or carving stuff in and then pulling things out and then sharpening those edges. But the ZModeler approach to hard surface is like this whole other jam.
Yeah, and then there's all the Boolean stuff too that can now be done as well.
Do you think we got Booleans going on in
probably
bottom middle?
And then there's some different ways you can dynamically subdivide the mesh too. And one of them will allow you to work with hard surface structures and you can get those edges to hold. And then one's better for kind of like rounder or cylindrical objects.
I really like watching the poly modeling that's going on. It's just really smart. It's a good use of time.
Yeah, this the audience is asking where's the projection primitives? We haven't seen any of those.
Yeah, we haven't really seen that yet. I mean, we may.
I don't think, we haven't seen one. We didn't have them in the first group. I'll have to see.
So this is still very vanilla ZBrush, but they brought in their UI.
Yes.
Because they're more comfortable working super dark and wicked.
So for this contest, we did allow them to bring one text file, which would be their hotkeys, and then we allowed them another text file, which is their UI. But that was it. So no custom brushes, no custom materials. So it's what you're seeing here can all be done if you had ZBrush and just installed it.
Yep.
And it took a lot of them out of their comfort zones too. Because if you're used to like a certain thing and you know that's your thing, when you're taken to this level, you now have to vary your designs, change stuff up, because you can no longer go to that brush you always use because it's not there.
I hope that they found some new tools and whatnot that they hadn't maybe considered before and can see where those fit in with their pipelines. It's just really cool looking. Let's go back to all the hard surfaces. I feel really confident about
I think we got that one.
And that is it.
That's the only one I can guess either. You guys out there in the internet's land, if you have any guesses, let us know.
Guess with us. It's fun.
Me and Jessica need help this time. Oh, we always need help.
Well, actually, so like this morning, there were a couple of them where I'm like, you know what? I don't know. There are a lot of humanoid figures featured on the cards, and I want to talk with the artists. Like once the artists are revealed after this weekend, I want to know more. I want to hear their thinking and what they're jamming on making this stuff.
So for this Sculpt-Off, the theme was tarot cards, and each of the artists was assigned a tarot card. And they were able to first select the group of 5 tarot cards they wanted to sculpt from, and then we drew their names out of the hat, and they were each assigned one by the availability of their list as we went through all the names. And then they had to stick with that tarot card. They have 3 hours from start to finish to generate a final image, which will be used to vote on at ZBrushCentral.com. And it was a vanilla challenge this year, so not only 3 hours, but we also only allowed them to bring a text file which contained their hotkeys and a text file that contained their UIs. So no custom brushes, no custom base meshes to start from, so they can use anything that's just with the installed version of ZBrush, but no custom assets. So we took it down to the base level of ZBrush.
There's so much creativity, though, that happens on that level that this is so much more entertaining for us, and I hope you guys, the viewer.
And you can see a usage of some of just the presets and primitives too, and just using them. And it's interesting to see how other people take, you know, what their take is on different things. So like, oh, I see this shape in this object, and then I can use that here.
Absolutely. Like, everybody's mind works differently. I mean, that's art. But I don't know. I'm really interested and inspired, and maybe giving me some new ideas of things to try out.
The other thing we haven't seen a lot of, I haven't seen any, well, I saw some the Sculptris Pro usage, but I haven't seen much of that either.
You mean here?
Yeah.
Oh, good point. Well, you know, a lot of these artists have been working in ZBrush quite a while. I think that Sculptris Pro is a very accessible program for a lot of new artists that have maybe never ventured into ZBrush land.
Could also be production workflows. So if you have to wait to get the latest version installed in a production environment, you may just stick with what you know. Let's go back to the organic side. Oh, there's some cool stuff happening here. Look at that, we already got painting on the, I think, we're pretty sure that's the Fool.
Psychedelic Fool.
Oh man, this one's got all sorts of stuff.
Dude, that's really incredible. Like building a whole throne room.
Yeah. So starting with the throne, and then the one above it.
Overachiever.
Has all sorts of primitives.
Oh, I really dig how they're building their anatomy in. That's just really exciting, like way to approach it.
Yes. So taking the basic forms and piecing it together. Which one do you think this is? Number 3. It's like, I have no guess.
It's too soon.
It's too soon. Uh-oh, what do we got? So you guys in internet land, let's run through this schedule really quick. So this is the first day of the summit here, so the Sculpt-Off day. Tomorrow, the summit starts with the presentation, so it'll be the official first day of the summit here tomorrow. And we're gonna start off at 12 o'clock with Method Studios. And all these will be streaming live across the world, or you can come in person here, except for one that's happening Sunday, and that is the Epic Games presentation at 12:30. That one will only be able to be viewed on site, so we will not be streaming that one. But give us a shout out which presentation you guys are most looking forward to. We'd love to hear, you know, which ones you guys are excited for. And also, if you guys are watching now, you know, from your TV screens and your computers, if you're planning on coming out to the summit in person.
Yeah, we'd love to see everyone here. There's going to be so many amazing artists and so many amazing demonstrations and talks about ZBrush, about production, about art.
And all the times here listed here are all PST, so they're all LA time. So everything you see here is that. We will, for all of them, I believe, except for the Epic Game ones, which you have to be in person, they will all be replayed at some point as well. So you will be able to catch back up on them if you are not able to catch the live version, which you may be sleeping. It may be 4 or 5 a.m.
Yeah, we forgive you.
And let's go quickly to our contestants for this group 1 really quick. Let's see if we can pull up who is competing in group 2, not group 1.
Oh yeah. Who's who? What artists?
Image too, actually. Wasn't it? Tons of talent. So we're back now viewing the organic side here. You see they're starting to flesh the creations out.
Ooh.
I think the upper middle one is number 2.
Wait, what was it mesh-wise?
I think it was a lot of, we all had heads, so
Yes.
it's got a head.
So it's got a head, but I don't know.
And you're watching the 2018 ZBrush Live Sculpt-Off here. The artists have a total of 3 hours, start to finish. This is the group 2, so there is 6 hard surface and 6 organic.
Such a clever way to create these like little fluorite sort of things.
Me and Jessica are trying to guess. The theme this year is tarot cards. And so the tarot cards that we're allowed to choose from is all the major arcana. And then they were also allowed to choose the face cards of the minor arcana. So the minor arcana consists of the pages, the aces, and the queens of cups. And kings of cups, swords, wands, and pentacles. And then the major arcana are the ones with the named cards, basically. So
The fancy ones.
the Empress, the Emperor, the Lovers, the Tower, the Magician.
Chariot. Do you think we're gonna get a chariot?
I don't
a lot
know.
of
We haven't
work.
seen a chariot yet. I was talking with some of the mixtures of the Tower and the Chariot. If we had someone that was entered that had like a Urkling for like environmental stuff, they could end up doing one of those.
Oh snap! The person with the throne might also be doing a justice. No, we had a justice or an organic last time.
You think so? Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm.
So I think that one's
Emperor,
crossed
Hierophant.
off.
Oh, it's gonna be the emperor.
Emperor.
It's got the ram's heads and.
We got a lot of focus on the core features of things here.
They're getting a lot done.
There's a lot of silhouette building happening in the upper right over there. Now, some of these contestants too are some of our streamers, so they've probably had some practice in this 3 hours. If they're
Good.
doing a stream and trying to get an entire character done in 3 hours.
Oh, that's true. So they're already kind of like honing that fast-moving,
Yeah,
fast-thinking
you
skill.
only got so much time to do it. But this was the one that was started off with all the blocking and shapes, and then it's now been converted. And now they're sculpting the
Nice.
forms a little bit further.
Really satisfying shapes.
Let's hop over to the hard surface side. So the tarot card set that was referenced was the Smith Waite version of the tarot card set. But they could choose from, references or inspiration from any sets of tarot cards.
There's so much art that's been made, so there's a lot of inspiration. Friends of mine who use this stuff for fun, for creative projects and whatnot, they love to talk about some of the tarot decks that were made back in the 70s, and they are just some wild, like, the artists and the people thinking up the ideas of what to include. None of them were sober. None of them were in a normal state when they're working on them, which makes it basically perfect.
It's like the Ouija board. I think we talked about Ouija boards last time. You have a Ouija
That's because
board.
I have
Yeah.
was wearing a Ouija shirt, and before the ZBrush shirt though. I mean, t-shirts are pretty comfortable. I'm a big fan. No, but all that stuff, like, it has symbolism, and it scares some people, and I hate that it should scare anyone, because a lot of this stuff is just interesting from like the horror movie perspective or the artistic, creative side of things. Like, it's just a really cool art end of stuff associated with all of this, and it's just really, really fun.
I think it's also because you can take different interpretations on it, which I think is also
Yeah,
nice.
the
too.
interpretation part is the coolest bit.
There's some crazy stuff happening in these hard surface ones.
Top left, this one.
Yeah, pulling the underlying shapes out.
Yeah, but it's like, it's getting really, really complicated now. Do you think it's going to be a knight, or do you think it's going to be
I don't know.
like a really fancy high arcana?
I'm going for knight just because of the armored face. Because
Yes. Unless they're going to be going for a very kingly crown.
it could
And
be a
then that's-
kingly crown.
Yeah.
Because I think okay, so on the organic side last time, we think we had a Knight of Swords.
We definitely had a Queen of Swords.
Okay, so that would cross those out.
Oh, we also had a Knight of Pentacles.
Yes, so that would cross that knight out. So maybe it's not a knight.
Ah,
this
the
is
Knight
also-
of Swords was a question mark, though.
Was the Knight of Swords organic or hard surface? I think it was hard surface. Knight of Pentacles was hard surface.
Yeah. Was it?
Yep.
Shoot. You have a much better memory. I've already wiped my memory clean.
It's already clear.
And now I'm
The
just
slate
judging
is
these
clear.
guys from scratch.
So for the process here, the theme this year is tarot cards. And the contestants were given a list of cards they could choose from. They went through this list and they chose 5 cards each that they wanted to sculpt. And then we drew names out of a hat. And when your name came up, we'd go through the list. And if the choice that you had was still available, you would get that one. And then we'd pull another name out and see if that person's card was still available. And we went down the list.
Do you know if mostly people got like one of their top choices?
I'm not sure. I was not involved. This is part of the allure. So me and you are out of the process here entirely. So I have no clue.
I would love for people to guess along with us. I mean, there's some where you can feel pretty confident about like what they're aiming for with their cards, but join us with guessing because watching the sculpt and watching the character evolve this whole 3 hours is where it's at.
So there are 20 cards in the minor arcana,
And there's
then-
22 in
the-
the major arcana.
and that's the ones they were given. So they were given 42
42
to
options.
pick from.
Well, we've got a full and a moon for surezies.
And so it could be any of those 42 cards. And there's also, the 42 cards went for hard surface, and then there was the 42 that went to the organic. So there's going to be a mixture.
Yeah, what do you think
between
is
the
going to be
two.
the most popular card? Like we saw, what I believe we saw last time were 2 devils.
I thought there'd be a lot of people wanting to do the devil or death. That's where I would have went.
I agree. I think the High Priestess is also like a really interesting concept because making something that looks like very divine and holy, but also feminine is what I consider like a fun artistic challenge, a very attractive artistic challenge. But I've got a couple question marks of High Priestess from earlier this morning. I don't know necessarily if that's what they were chasing. So we might have and see that here now.
Yeah. Let's go to our sponsors quick. So, and for the ZBrush Sculpt-Off here, we have quite a bit of sponsors that have allowed us to make this contest happen. So we'd like to give a few shout outs here. So I want to first thank Carbon. They supplied some of the prizes that the winners will receive. So the third place winner is going to get a print of their choice from Carbon. I think up to a certain size. There's limitations here.
I am so ready for like a me-sized print, like Carbon. Yes.
Let's talk to me.
Yeah. Can you imagine? They're like, that would take hours. Why?
And then we want to thank Form Labs, so the first place winners for the first place in hard surface and first place in organic will be taking home a Form 2 printer.
That's
so
how you
thank
can
you
print
to
something.
Form Labs.
Yeah. It'll only take you a couple days to print stuff out, but you can definitely, if
And
you
it will
own
get
your
you
own printer.
really, really fine quality on that too.
Is that really
It's
sweet?
really nice. That's where we have
so
some of the,
nice.
if you're here in person, definitely check out the Noman Gallery. We have a bunch of prints that are done by some of these Sculpt-Off
Heck
artists and also the
yes.
presenters that will be down there. And some of them are printed 100% from either the Carbon or Formlabs printers.
That's just awesome. So nice of them. Additionally, we've got Gnomon as one of our sponsors. They're providing actually the full space that ZBrush Summit is taking place in. And especially this lab, which we've completely stolen and taken over. Every computer, unplugged all their stuff, and plugged in our stuff.
And it's still working.
Yeah.
And they haven't thrown us out yet, so we're okay.
They've liked us quite a few years running.
I know. This is, yeah. We keep coming back, and they keep saying, okay, we'll let you do it again. Also, I want to thank Keyshot. So they are supplying us with the versions of Keyshot that are on the computers right now that the contestants are using with the ZBrush to Keyshot bridge. So thank you to Luxion and Keyshot for that. And finally, we want to thank Wacom. Wacom has supplied the Cintiqs and the tablets for the event, and also for our presenters, and our classrooms have them as well.
Yeah.
So thank you, Wacom, for that. And that is our sponsor list there. So thanks to all our sponsors. They have made the Sculpt-Off a reality and allowed some of our contestants here to get some really tremendous prizes out of the deals.
I just zoomed in on this guy because there was some really cool
stuff happening.
Like, in the time it took for us to talk about sponsors and come back, there was already like a wicked sword. So, interesting.
And this looks like one of the insert mesh brushes that ship with ZBrush that's being modified.
Ooh.
So again, the artists were not allowed to bring custom brushes, custom materials. They could only have a text file with their custom hotkeys and a text file with their custom UI. And everything else had to be assets or things they create are from this default version of ZBrush. So they were allowed to use anything that ships with ZBrush, but they couldn't bring anything else.
Smart choice. I think it just makes it really accessible. Like, everybody working from home, like, if you've worked in ZBrush, you're pretty familiar with a lot of the stuff that these guys are using, and it doesn't mean that you have to like go hunt down on the internet where they found a material or a brush or something in particular. So all of this stuff is like, you could follow along right now and sculpt your own thing over the next 3 hours.
And speaking of following along, if that's what you guys are doing, send us in your images. We want to see how you guys are watching the ZBrush Summit. So
Hashtag ZBrush Summit.
And send your images in. We'd love to see how you guys are enjoying the event, if you are enjoying the event.
I am poking around Twitter. I'm at least liking people's posts.
Let's go back to the full view here.
Yes, please.
It's one of these buttons.
I want to zoom in again. No, I keep zooming in on stuff because I get really excited.
Zoom in.
To my heart's content. Look at this already. They're posing stuff in, and you really can get a feel for like where they're going with their cinematic angle on this one and how it's going to be kind of like framed for the card.
But which card is it?
I don't know. You know, I haven't seen any magicians. What if it's the magician? That'd be wicked cool. Like this creepy cyborg magician.
Doing magic.
I'm into it. Doing magic, taking names, hacking your computers.
What about Wheel of Fortune, maybe?
Oh, no, you're super right. Like, there's a lot of, like, circular elements going on, so it could be a Wheel of Fortune. Now, you know, all these cards have, like, kind of ideas and concepts associated with them. Let's see what the Wheel of Fortune is, because I'm pretty... Okay, it's a good one. It's a good one.
Does it say just
it's
Wheel of Fortune?
Can I buy an E?
Can I buy an E?
I watched that with my grandma. But it's destiny and fortune, success, like luck and felicity. And even when it's reversed, it doesn't suck. Like, this is one of those great cards, because when it's reversed, it's increased abundance, superfluity. Like, that's awesome. That card, you always want to draw a Wheel of Fortune. Never draw it.
So there's a bike in here, too.
What?
There's a bike. He's got, like, a bike.
He's like a crazy robot. There's no bicycles in the deck.
There's no bicycles? Okay, I'm looking for bicycles.
I don't know if they had invented bicycles back in 19 whatever. No, they certainly had, but I don't think they would feature them on a magic deck.
The robotic horse could be a robotic horse. That's probably what they called the bicycle, the robotic horse.
Oh.
That's factual accurate, isn't it? Totally robotic horse.
Are you just pulling this stuff out
I'm
your
just
butt?
pulling it. Yep.
Yeah. No, that's okay.
Internet, find some
If
truth
you say it with
in that.
confidence, at least one person will believe you. Well, no, but like with all the hard surface stuff, you know, it doesn't necessarily have to be so futuristic, but I love when it is. I love how people are envisioning a very old school idea, like all the tarot. It's been around for over 100 years. It's been around for a dang long time. And to kind of like re-envision it with like a very cyberpunk or, it's just fun. It's super, super fun. And just like the creative, directions you can
Seeing
take
what they're
it.
doing with it, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because all the cards that we've got are like knights and queens and kings. It's very Arthurian. There's a couple like, there's a lot of angels actually. These cards feature quite a few.
We did see one set of wings being made in the last one.
Oh, yeah?
No, not in this
not
one.
this time,
Yeah,
not
let's
this
go over
time.
to quick and see what's going on over there.
Ooh, somebody pulling out some facts for you.
Robot wasn't even coined until the 1920s. See? Internet smart.
The power of Google.
So here we have our organic.
Ooh.
Look at that. We go away for a little bit and come back and there's craziness.
I love this so much. There's just like this really epic halo up center top. And it's just exciting.
The stars.
Well, because which character is really going to be featured that way? There's so many characters that have that sort of divinity associated with them. Like Temperance, this angel that sort of brings equality and balance to everything, has a halo. All the angels actually have halos because that's their angels. The Lovers features kind of like an angel bringing together a sort of Adam and Eve figure.
I was hoping we'd get one Lovers out of here too.
Well,
just 'cause
that's
you could
also
make like
asking.
two and then just.
That is asking somebody to make 3 separate characters.
But you got mirroring. You've got duplication.
But it's a boy and a girl.
It's true.
A little bit of mirroring. It's all just
Skim
gonna
the
look
same
like
clothes.
like old-timey sculptors. They couldn't get female models, so they would take their male models and then
dress
just
them
add
up.
clay on top. They're like, yeah, it totally looks like a woman. It's like, you've never seen a woman before, have you? Old-timey sculptors. Yeah, bring it. But there's so many characters that feature halos, that feature that sort of divinity, and I think that you could also express that sort of like majesty with like the High Priestess, with the Empress, with the Emperor. These are like amazing characters that are royal and divine.
I love the hair on the top left one too. On both of them. Yeah, hair everywhere.
Oh, you're right. So this is where they took all of the different patches.
Yeah.
So then they could have like really, really wild hair. That is a clever approach to get chunks of hair that they could then work on individually.
I don't know who this is going to be though.
Hey, give them time. They're only 50 minutes in. But shoot, I don't know who either. It could be any one of these like angel characters.
I'm saying with like scarves, cloth. I don't know. I keep going back to like the visual nature of like these cards and trying to find
Well, but there's so many
similarities.
decks that
Yeah,
they could
there
pull
are,
from. Like
yeah.
there's the Crowley deck, which is like the super fancy magic deck. I listen to a lot of podcasts about all this historical nonsense, and they talk about like from a what if it was real, not like necessarily this is super real. But it's just interesting, like the history of it, like what was motivating these folks. You know, all the angels seem to be very gender fluid, like kind of caught in the middle. They're very ambiguous about it. And this, I think, kind of conveys that a little bit.
So if you guys are just tuning in, this is the ZBrush Live Sculpt-Off for 2018. This is our second group. So we have 6 hard surface and 6 organic competing at the moment. Our first group went this morning. So we have 12 total hard surface and 12 total organic challengers competing for the title of Organic Champion and Hard Surface Champion.
You know, actually, we've got one of our returning contestants who won last year.
We do.
in this
Marlon
group.
is here.
We
He's
can't
in
tell
this group.
you which one.
I don't even know.
No, we don't know. So you don't get to know either. But, you know, they're just amazing artists. And I love that they'd come back to compete again because while it is a competition and winning this really cool printer is like amazing, everybody who sort of competes, they respect and appreciate each other's art. And they're really, really in it just to create awesome art, to have the opportunity to challenge themselves, to show off how cool it is, what they're working on in ZBrush is. I really like the sharing aspect of the ZBrush community.
Well, this one's got some interesting styles too. The arm is behind the back.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of personality.
What character
I don't know.
do you think? Oh, I can't wait till it's like revealed what
What they
card.
are?
Yeah, so the card will be revealed for people to vote on, right? Because that informs more.
Yes. So when these will be ready for be voted on Friday, and they'll be all their images will be collected, and they'll all be having this nice card border around them, so they're all unified as like a deck of tarot cards, and the name of the card will be on there when it's on ZBrush Central.
Because then you can look up like what's the meaning and possibly
And see how well they
more.
matched it. What do you think? Yeah.
And like how they interpreted that, you know. None of this is simple. It's really cool and interesting.
Interesting to see what we're doing here with the hair.
I like it. So they're separating out the strips as polygroups so they can like dynamically do stuff. I don't know.
Because you could inflate or use polygroups off of that and then generate strands off of it.
Oh, that's true. Or they could separate each of these and make it into its own little like mini mesh and like wrap it on each
around.
other.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cool ways to do hair. A lot of cool ways. We saw some folks using fiber mesh earlier, and that was really awesome. Actually, one person's using fiber mesh presently.
It's the crazy haired one.
Yeah. But there's actually another person working on hair as well on screen number 5. See, and then this is like an overall sculpting form with a couple meshes that are drawn on with the curve. And that's just like a really cool way to like have...
Just set your forms and you can draw your other stuff on top of
Yep.
it.
Some things I wished that had existed when I first started working in ZBrush. I love that they exist now. I can't complain. I'm still using all this stuff.
Now let's check on the hard surface guys. We are almost an hour in.
Very nearly.
So we got some gears. Uh-oh, the one robot's got like a...
Steampunk.
Yeah, the one robot's got like the staff thing now.
I think it's the magician.
You think it's magician?
I really do. Or I mean, wishful thinking it's the magician. Well, just because like the magician usually carries the staff that kind of like represents their mastery over all the different arcana, like the suits. It's their understanding of knowledge and their understanding of emotion and money.
Magical. Lots of wire movement there.
Ooh. Yeah, so this is the one I think is the magician. But I welcome differing opinions. Because there was some talk about maybe it's the Wheel of Fortune because it's featuring so predominantly these like wheel sort of features. But I mean, it could just as well be kind of like a halo of divinity.
There's no bicycle rider card, right?
There are no bicycles in this. You know, though, you could put the Fool on a unicycle and it would make a ton of sense.
You could. Ooh. Because this is definitely a hard surface. So it could be a hard surface Fool.
But he doesn't look foolish.
Not yet.
Oh, not yet. That's true. We haven't gotten into the full-on posing
No, we're not.
stage.
We're almost.
Yeah,
Well, I'm not gonna say it because we're 5 minutes out still.
Yeah. We're barely 55 minutes in.
So the topic this year was tarot cards. So all the contestants here are sculpting either one of the major arcana or was it the first 20?
So the face cards and aces for the minor arcana.
Yeah, the first
just
20
like your
of the minor.
normal playing card deck where it's like kings, queens, knights, pages. Pages are like jacks. and then the aces. And the aces are really abstract. I don't know if anybody has picked an ace.
I don't think I've seen one yet.
I imagine it would actually be really difficult to represent in a sculpting competition because it's sort of like this abstract god hand holding up the pentacle or holding up the wand
cups
or the cup. Exactly. So it's more about the symbol than it is about any sort of character. It's like, it just makes it complicated, that's all.
We haven't seen any cups either.
The cup is a really, really good suit. Here, let me Google that for you. No, each of the suits sort of has like a general concept that they represent, and the numbers and the faces within that kind of represent a different aspect of that.
So the Sculpt-Off is attempted to be as anonymous as possible. So even Jessica and I do not know which computer is going to which artist here. So instead of focusing on the artists themselves, we're focusing on the artwork, but we can run a video here. Let's get through the cups first.
Yeah, well, so the suit of cups, it just generally deals with like consciousness and love, feelings, relationships, healing. It's just like a really nice, like emotional suit. So like the queen is very much so about love, and yeah, there's just a lot to it. It's nice. It's a good suit. I don't know if anybody chose it because a cup isn't as interesting as, say, like a sword. Who would have thought?
But you can't put wine or beer in a sword.
No, this is true. You would be nowhere without a cup. I could live my whole life without having had a sword, and I think I would have been all right. To be fair, I own a lot of swords, but I also own more cups. But no wands.
No wands?
I don't have any wands.
None?
Not even like a Harry Potter wand.
Oh, come on.
When I was really little, I did, though.
Okay.
I had a fairy wand with a star on top and streamers.
All right, so let's go see if we can get a video up of all our contestants for this group here and go through those. We are back. All right, so that was our list of the contestants for this group here, so tons of talent. And we just see like the images alongside their names. It's a lot of talent out there.
Yeah, super, super amazing folks. We're exactly 1 hour in. Now, take a look at all these sculpts. Now, pretend you've only had an hour. How many of you would be this far along within a full and completed and interesting character?
And with no custom brushes.
Holy bananas.
No custom.
Top, middle, holy banana. It's amazing.
And they still have 2 hours left.
Gosh, what are they going to do with all that time?
It's actually not a lot.
Especially
Yeah.
like these guys.
A lot of them we saw in the last group, around the hour mark is when they would start working on their final compositions, doing their renderings. So they spent about 2 hours, I think is what our average was for last group, for generating the modeling aspects. And then at that stage, they were confident enough to
move into like blocking out
Final,
materials
yeah.
and the camera angle. It's really, really cool stuff.
It's gonna be interesting to see comes on there. We only have a few, like we know the moon,
Yes. And we know the Fool.
and we know the fool.
I feel strongly that the bottom left is the Magician. I will make no confident guesses after that.
Let's hop over to organic.
Yes, please. So a lot of our contestants received, you know, the decision of what they'd be sculpting, what they'd be working on. They received the final decision for their card about a month ago. And so that allowed them to like really concept stuff out and give it a go and try out different things that they wanted to bring today. Like being able to sculpt an entire character with all the decisions made in 3 hours is really, 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 really hard. And so this let them practice some stuff so they could give the best possible showing. They're still doing everything from scratch today, but they at least have an idea of techniques that they wanted to try, techniques that they've practiced, so they can provide the most successful versions of their characters possible.
Yeah, because if we would just, they arrived and we just like, all right, so tarot card, here you go.
Oh man, can you just like hand them out the card as they walk in and be like, good luck guys? And be like, what
Because there was
the
already
heck
like
is this?
there's a lot of anxiety and stress that they all were going through on this. You can see after they're done with this, they're all like, oh, it's over.
The last group, when they finished up, they just sort of collapsed on the couch, all of them. And
A heap of artists,
well,
one would say.
it's a lot of adrenaline, it's a lot of concern, and they've been worrying, or thinking at least, about this for about the past month. And while they don't see the audience, like, well, I mean, we can kind of pay attention to what's going on in the Twitch feed and stuff. They don't see the audience, but they feel it.
Yes.
You know, they want to create like cool, dang images for everybody on the internet. Which you guys all should definitely vote for. If you guys are here watching this stuff being made, please, please, please vote. You're seeing all of the hard work and effort that's going into this stuff being created. Yeah. Your vote matters a lot.
And you'll be on ZBrushCentral.com to vote for these images after they're complete. So this group here has a little under 2 hours left to generate their final image.
They're making great progress. Ooh, we got a hand being made from Z-spheres. Like just,
Can you hop to that one?
I mean, if we want to get it close up, they kind of zoomed out a bit. I don't know what we're gonna see, but let's go peek.
Oh, this is the Emperor one? Is this what we're going with
Oh
here?
yeah, this is the one that's like the full throne, and the throne looks evil as fuck. And yeah, it's really, really wicked.
So we'd love to see how you guys are watching the summit and the Sculpt-Off here. So send us your images.
Send us your selfies.
Use the hashtag ZBrush Summit. We'd love to see how you guys are tuning in to the events here. And this is just the first day. So this is just the Sculpt-Off here, which kicks off the summit.
Another hand being created a completely different way. How cool is that?
I feel like she should be riding a motorcycle.
One-handed.
One-handed.
Low ride.
Yes, they were definitely, they could have used the IMM hands.
That's just really, really cool. I like all the different approaches because like you see two people approaching the same basic concept, a hand, completely different ways.
A lot of precise masking. That's definitely, looks like a joke. Is that that's the Fool, right? So Fool's crown.
Well, I don't know. Dang.
It's definitely the one we were thinking was the Fool.
Yeah, it is.
So the contestants were able to use anything that ships with the standard version of ZBrush, along with a custom hotkey file and a custom UI file. And that is it. So they were not allowed to bring their own custom brushes, bring their own custom materials, but they are allowed to use anything that ships with the version of ZBrush. So if you just downloaded the installer for ZBrush and you install it, that is what they were given.
Oh, look at the flower being made up in the top right. That's cool. Great use of the radial brush, by the way.
Yeah. Pretty, pretty flowers.
That's cool as heck.
And there's your transpose line. Not switching
I
to the
love
gizmo.
the transpose.
That's fine. They both have their different advantages.
No, exactly. I feel that they do different things entirely.
All right, let's go back to where's the full spread? We're entranced by the floral pattern. Some pretty interesting hair stuff being generated in that top middle too, number 2.
Yeah.
That's pretty
I
cool.
think it's all the halo. Gosh, that's a cool halo. It's like such a clever way to approach it all.
This almost looks like a ray mesh, the way it's changing
Yeah.
its position. Now we're going back to mirror and weld.
Oh, they set up their ZBrush very differently than how I set up my ZBrush. I mean, I dig it. I stick with default. My settings get wiped so frequently that I'm just like, you know what? I'm not even gonna noodle
And
with
see,
stuff.
and all mine, like, there was a point where I had the crazy UI, but then I had to go back to the one so we can help anyone.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
So that way you're like, what you're presenting, what you're showing off is kind of like digestible by every ZBrush user.
Yes, yes.
Smart.
So it's not like, oh, he went to the right corner over here. The blue button that I don't have.
It's like, what the heck is that?
So his hands
really
are getting
soothing.
sculpted now.
I love watching this stuff. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you for taking your
It's
time.
just so enchanting watching all of this stuff come to life. Brilliant characters.
Let's hop over to the
Yeah.
side here.
When you sit at home and sculpt, hard surface or organic?
It depends. Recently, it's been more hard surface.
Yeah? Is it because like you're trying to like explore all of the options with the thing, or that you're just like, oh my lord, I love me some robots?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I do a lot of random organic stuff, but I never take them to a finished thing. But the hard surface side, I usually go further with those.
Yeah?
I think maybe,
Is that the stuff
I think
that you're
maybe it's
printing?
because it takes less texturing. I think that might be a way, because I can get away with a lot of just material applying.
Yeah. Oh,
Different
do you do
materials.
like edge masking and stuff
Yeah.
and switching between the materials? That's a really cool approach. You get a lot out of it. The benefits of Keyshot.
Well, this one's cool too.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, good.
So many parts. I don't know what this one's gonna be.
I don't know either.
Internet land, you got any guesses? We are going ASMR, is what we're doing now. It's the peaceful hour.
Oh, that means we should whisper. Actually, I really don't like. I think ASMR is really, really cool. I just don't like the sound of people whispering. But I think
It
I'm
puts
weird.
children to sleep, though,
No, and
very
that's-
quickly.
Do you use ASMR stuff? There's a really adorable one. This girl, she builds sets, and everything is all Studio Ghibli style. So one video that I did watch, my friend sent me, was basically Sophie's hat shop from Howl's Moving Castle. So it's basically she's dressed up as Sophie and she's making hats, and those are all the sounds, and it's just like this whole real life ASMR Howl's Moving Castle. It was delightful.
Yeah, we usually end up in the podcast format, so I don't see the visuals that go along with it.
This one is really cute, and I thought it was really cute because it was like this whole immersive. She built her whole set to look like, an old 18 whatever hat shop. It was just the creativity required to create like a whole show that's interesting. ASMR and whisper talk with sculpting.
We are here.
Just gentle sounds of
ZBrush.
mouse clicks and tablet taps.
You are getting tired.
I think it's only ASMR for the folks where it's 2 in the morning.
Yes, exactly.
It's very different. No, I know that so much of ASMR is the whispering. The couple that I have watched, I would go past the whisper talk and go straight to like the scissor cutting fabric or stuff like that. But mostly, I haven't dove deep in it. How about that? I've only seen it. I know it exists. I thought the costume and the set creation was really, really cool. You watch weird ASMR videos, chat. Crumbling bread. What? That's not even a thing.
Oh, you've never heard crumbling bread? It puts me right to sleep. Just out instantly. You get a baguette and just start crumbling it, and I'm out. That's it. I'm done.
I listen to songs to fall asleep or read. I'm boring.
So this moon's looking pretty cool.
Robo Moon. Oh, it's like the Death Star.
Oh, it kind of is.
You know, what does the moon mean? Hold on.
What does the moon mean?
Because it's got like a whole lot associated with it other than just being, you know, the moon. Hidden enemies. Oh my gosh, it is the Death Star. So hidden enemies, danger, darkness, terror, deception, and error. And then want to hear its like reverse version? Instability, inconsistency, silence.
This is definitely Death Star.
And still deception and error. The moon is a bad card. Don't draw the moon.
It's like the tower.
Yeah, the moon and the tower are friends. And they're just trying to screw stuff up for you.
So the Sculpt-Off this year the theme is tarot cards. And we're keeping it as anonymous as possible, so none of the artists have any of their names on their screens here. Even Jessica and I don't know which artist is sculpting what.
We do not know.
So we're focusing entirely on the art. And this was a change we made a few years ago, and it's gone pretty well.
I love it because it lets the art stand for itself and speak for itself. And that way the doesn't necessarily favor somebody who's maybe more famous than another person. But we've got so many different artists, whatnot, competing. They're all really, really talented. And I'm certain that once all the voting has been decided, they'll be like, oh, this one was mine. I hope you liked it. But that'll be after voting.
After the voting, yes.
Don't let those artists send you to vote.
Keep it anonymous. Keep it fair.
Anonymous. Keep it fair because that's really cool. And it's a good prize, you know. You want it to be fair. You want justice, card, to be served.
So a lot of cool stuff here in the organic side.
Ooh. Now, is he or she, actually, I don't actually know who's sculpting this. The top left, they had all that really, really crazy hair, but they're sort of now keeping it contained within a sphere. So they just plopped a sphere in to kind of like wrangle their fibers and keep stuff like looking really, really interesting.
I still don't know any guesses? Internet, do you have any guesses for what card this is?
Well, it's just like this reaching, I don't know. Because it could be one piece of judgment, but I mean, then there's a lot more to go.
Yeah, and we're over, almost halfway. Not quite.
Could be temperance. You know, I was hoping somebody would do the Hanged Man, and I really don't think we're getting the Hanged Man this year.
No, because I thought the one was going to be the Hanged Man.
I really did, and it turned into kind of like a tower.
I think it's the tower.
Thing. But the Hanged Man, like you're like, oh, I don't want to get the Hanged Man, but it means wisdom and trials, circumspection, like it's just thoughtfulness and discernment. But it also involves sacrifice. But a lot of people sacrifice a lot of things in every day, willingly sacrificing your time to develop
to come
skills
and help with the Sculpt-Off.
or to like, you know, spend time with things that matter. Like you make sacrifices all the time. Like the Hanged Man sounds bad, totally is not.
Yeah, so we were thinking the number 4 on this one, the one with the crown that's currently visible, might be the Fool.
So we think it's the Fool because the face that was sculpted is highly just like expressive and comical.
But we're not sure now.
But putting, well, like, a fool could have a crown.
Could have a crown.
I mean, there's so many different artworks that have been made of all these cards that there's plenty on the internet for them to pull reference from. But the fool also involves extravagance.
Extravagance.
I mean, a crown could be that extravagance.
It could be. So, internet, if you have any guesses, send them in.
Oh, please do, because it's like, I want to know what you guys are thinking too.
Because we're stumped on some of these.
Oh, like bottom right? No idea.
No idea.
Not even a little bit of an idea. Could be death,
Could be death.
because it's really wicked looking.
So let's go run through the events of the summit this week really quick. Let's pull up that schedule here, because we're almost halfway through here.
Yeah. This weekend is full of cool stuff.
So this is the initial start of the ZBrush, which is the Sculpt-Off. Tomorrow, the official summit starts at 12 p.m. These are all in LA time here. So 12 p.m., the summit will kick off. Now, almost all these events are going to be streamed live, and you can also come to the summit in person. Just need to come down here to LA, to the Noman campus here, and you can get into the summit for free. There is no charge. The only presentation on here that will not be streamed is the one on Sunday, which is Epic Games. That's the one that's happening at 12:30. That presentation will not be streamed. So if you would like to see that presentation, you need to be here on site. Addition to that, we have a bunch of stuff lined up. Also, if you're here in person, you can compete in the ZBrush Michelangelo Challenge. So this is another thing that's only happening at the summit in person. And the challenge involves having 15 minutes to sculpt a piece of art. And then the winner of the challenge will receive an Ultimaker 3 extended printer. So if you're on site, it's only gonna be 15 minutes. Definitely worth entering that one.
That's just so exciting because, you know, there's so much you can do creatively in 15 minutes, and it's kind of like a really good equalizer. I mean, you gotta work fast, so if you don't work fast, then, but just really cool. Also, I can't wait to see all the art that's made from it.
So let's go hop over to our hard surface side. Oh man, so we're getting into crazy stuff now.
Woo, yes we are. Some things have like really gone along. Bottom middle, do we have two fools?
Oh.
Because like it's got a jester's sort of
Well, this
collar.
this one's definitely, but this is the hard surface full. And so we could have a hard surface
we
full
could.
and an organic full. The collar's
cool.
definitely making it happen now.
Yeah, well, like the collar definitely brings that sort of clownish nature, and then also these what is it called? The Harlequin sort of like diamonds.
Yeah.
But it could be a page of diamonds. Like, none of my guesses are going to be perfect until these things are named at the end.
All guesses. We got some swords in this other one here. Let's go back over there. So we got another sword. Didn't we already have a Knight of Swords?
But wasn't it hard surface last time? Shoot, or was it organic? I don't remember. Oh, but this one's got like a very interesting helmet that might end up being kind of a king.
Could be a king, yes.
Dude, that chainmail looks awesome. I am kicking myself that I didn't stick around for whatever step that was.
It looks like nanomesh is what I
Yeah?
would guess. So made a ring and then nanomesh the heck out of it.
That's freaking cool.
And that's going to replace all the polygons on the model with one of those little ringlets.
That's the coolest mesh ever. Do you know how much work it is to do that in like Max?
Oh yeah.
It sucks some
It
yeah.
used to be a slide knit thing you could use a long time ago. That was the only way I could figure out how to do it. But then now the nanomesh way is definitely the way I go.
Far superior. Although in one of the characters that we did, we sort of did just like a texture because it was the chainmail was so far underneath the rest of the costume.
You'd never see it.
You didn't need. But like I love it though. Like the part of me that's like about detail is just like, oh yeah, look at the rings that are like by themselves and the empty spaces.
Some crazy stuff happening on this one too. It's making like almost like a stadium. I don't know. I don't know what this one's gonna be either. We thought this might be the magician. So many things. So we are 8 minutes till the halfway mark. At the halfway point here, Jessica and I are gonna go grab some coffee and some water.
I'm gonna get myself another donut.
So we're gonna be departing here in 8 minutes for a little break, and then we'll come back. It's like the halftime. It's the halftime of the Sculpt-Off. And then when we come back, we'll see where these guys are. But we've got a few more minutes here before we give you guys a break. Go get some more
Super
popcorn.
Incredible.
The Z popcorn.
See popcorn.
Z popcorn.
That's gonna be the announcement this weekend. Z popcorn.
Z popcorn. The big new thing. Can't stop, won't stop. So our commenters today, I have Jessica Drew and myself, Joseph Drust. It's us in the flesh.
Us hanging out. We're disembodied voices for now. Now, hey. Hi. And we only have an hour and 37 minutes left.
And that's it.
They've got a lot of work to do and a lot to kind of figure out composition-wise, overall look and feel. Very nerve-wracking.
Very nerve-wracking.
Yeah, it's just a lot of work. But they're doing amazing stuff. Like, I can't believe how fleshed out some of the characters are.
They're getting there.
On both sides.
Yeah. Someone's suggesting which one, someone thinks lovers will take place here.
The top right.
Top right.
I'm all for it. Like, I haven't seen a Lovers. I didn't think somebody would pick it. I'm in it.
So I'll take Robert Downey Jr. over Harry Potter. I'll take that. Take that.
But haven't you actually dressed up as Harry Potter for Halloween?
No, because it's too much.
Embrace it.
So do you remember the
Ooh, or you
where
could
he
do
was
Elijah
with the
Wood
horse?
with the horn.
Was he with the horse on stage? Yeah, he did like a Broadway play, Harry Potter.
I haven't seen the show, but I know what you're referencing. Yeah.
So I was a little bit younger. That's what I looked like when he was doing that. I looked exactly like that. And so I just got like tons of people just sending me
You just
pictures.
gotta,
Like, what are you
like,
doing with that horse?
Spike your hair up or something. Like, it was like grow a mustache, just be like Harry Potter in disguise.
Like, what are you doing with that horse? And you give me round glasses, and it's not good. I grow my hair a little bit, round glasses. Just think the scar. Cha-ching!
You should definitely do the costume. Like, that is a missed opportunity.
So you're not the horse one, though, right?
Not the horse one.
Okay.
No. Terrible.
I take Iron Man too. I'm fine with that.
Of course, yeah, you take that compliment and you run. You're like, no take backsies. I'm stoked to see how different our hard surface modelers are this afternoon from this morning. So many ways to approach everything.
All little details.
That's cool.
This one's missing like the, let's go back to that quick. This one in the middle, we're like missing an eye now too.
What?
This
Wait, this was the moon, right?
Is this the moon?
Yeah. Yeah, top middle is the moon, which is gonna F your day up. Oh, in the card, the moon has 2 dogs howling up at it. Oh my God, they're doing it all. Can you imagine? Oh, this is awesome. Okay, so the moon is as much the figure of the moon as the wolves and dogs howling and kind of like worshiping it too. I love it. No, that made me really excited all of a sudden. See?
I see. It has.
It also has a lobster.
Yeah, or crayfish, lobster, crayfish, crayfish, lobster.
Is that a crayfish because
We're back.
you're in the south? Oh yeah, so the moon on my deck, the moon, and it's got little puppy dogs.
Yeah, and this is from the Smith-Waite Tarot deck.
Yeah, it's some old-timey art. This art was made back in 1901. It
Wow.
was a while ago. But it's really, really cool.
All right, so let's hop over to the organic side quick.
Yeah, one more peek at those guys.
Then we're almost at the halfway mark. At halfway, you guys can go get popcorn, food, dinner.
For you late night folks, some popcorn, yeah. Popcorn, a pillow.
Pajamas.
I'm just so impressed with all of the folks from Europe that are tuning in. Dedication. Oh, look at how much fun the color is already. Just that super peaceful character. God, I love long necks. I know that like,
There's more for you to bite.
no, it's just so fantastic. You're already in Halloween season. You're
It
like,
is. It's already
vampires.
starting.
How peaceful. What do you think she's gonna be? Priestess?
I don't know.
Well, she represents so much, like calm, serenity, knowledge. It could be empress, it could be priestess, it could be temperance, which you drew this morning. There's so many ways that you could take that sort of just like quiet confidence. It'll all come down to like what surrounds her, you know?
Yeah. Very colorful. Definitely stands out among the other ones right
Oh
now.
yeah, which is a great move.
Oh man, now there's a lion.
Oh, do you think that's strength then? Okay, one of the few
Yes,
cards that
'cause
has a lion
that has,
on
yeah,
it is strength, and it's kind of like this sort of angelic woman figure that's like interacting and feeding a lion, and
I think
it's
all
really
versions of it
delightful.
have like a lion
Yeah, and
in the imagery.
strength is like power, energy, action, courage, but then all of that and magnanimity. So like having all of that ability and then also being generous of it.
Tiger toes. All right, so
Kitty beans.
so we are at the halfway mark here. So we're gonna take a little break. We're gonna leave you guys with some music this time though.
Yeah,
So you don't come back and
nothing's
think it's,
broken.
where'd the audio go? So.
Yeah, we're just gonna take a quick break. The sculptors are gonna keep sculpting, so when we come back from the break, we're gonna do a quick 6 and 6 just to see what's up, because so much can change in 10 minutes.
So we will see you guys after this little break.
Okay.
Well, I've been here for about 3 minutes and finally meeting this guy I've known for years.
Have an opportunity to spend some time growing together as artists.
It's just really exciting seeing where designers are going.
If you're not here, get here. It's going to be 3 days of fun-filled, interactive ZBrush mania.
Hi, my name's Ashley Adams, and I'm a character and creature concept artist currently working and living in Montreal, Canada. I stream on ZBrushLIVE at 8 p.m. EST on Wednesdays, and I also have my own channel, twitch.tv/a_cubed, and I basically just do 3D character and creature concept sculpting on stream. So stop by, say hi, and I hope you have a great rest of your summit. See you guys!
Everybody, this is Michael Pavlovich.
My name is Shane Olson.
Hi, I'm Shay.
My name's Ashley Adams.
My name is Ali Matt.
I'm the Redbeard Matt Thora.
The big part of my workflow is trying to minimize
them in and subdivide them and clean.
So I'm really just looking for that shape there.
Hi, my name is Ayman Akhtar. I'm a professional 3D artist in Los Angeles, California, and I specialize in 3D printing in ZBrush. You can learn more about my work on Ayman Akhtar 3D on Instagram, and come join me on ZBrushLIVE.com Monday mornings at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we'll talk about cool stuff like making 3D printed character minis, making 3D printed costumes, and even using 3D printing to launch your own toy line, like my Fungusaurs here. See ya!
Hi, tudo bem? I am Ana Carolina Pereira, a technical artist from Brazil that streams ZBrush in English and Portuguese, talking about VR, serious games, and how to navigate the industry as a beginner. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram as Ana Carolina Arts, and you can stop by my stream at ZBrushLIVE.com. Can't wait to see you there!
Dementia. Ah, yes. Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. Just doing a little light reading. My name is Mike Thompson, and I'm an illustrator in the Washington, D.C. area. I like to draw and paint things for money. Some of the clients I've done work for are Warner Brothers, Dimension Films, Nike, and Marvel. I'm also one of the streamers on ZBrushLIVE. I hope you can check me there. I also hope you can come to my website, MikeTArtworks.com, or my social media, @MikeTArtworks. Take care.
Hi there, my name is Timothy Rapp, and I am co-founder of High Horse Entertainment, a two-man team behind the game Disc Jam. I've been streaming for Pixologic for a little over a year now, and I typically focus on ZBrush for video game pipelines. You can find me on ZBrushLIVE and the Pixologic Twitch channel every Thursday at noon Pacific. So come check it out.
Welcome back.
We're back.
One thing that we were talking about while we were on break, after we'd gotten our coffee, was what would you sculpt?
This is true. And then what would we sculpt hard surface and what would we sculpt organic out of the list of cards?
No,
here?
and sticking with just the major arcana, because 42 cards is a lot of cards. So just sticking with these 22. You know, if I did hard surface, I would do the chariot. Because I think having like this
the
epic,
wheels and the stuff on that.
Can you imagine just like this epic rolling, hard surface, mechanical chariot thing that like this person is just like, ha-cha.
But you could also do some pretty cool, like the Wheel of Fortune type stuff, with all the gears and
I think
different
that would,
clock parts.
you'd
and
have to
everything else.
research a ton to be able to create a Wheel of Fortune that was like, to do it justice, to like have enough interesting things to
Things
toss
going
in.
on, yeah.
Yeah, but for organic, what would you pick?
I don't know. I think definitely the Hermit.
You
I
like
the,
that
Hermit,
the robe and the beard?
Yeah. It's different. It's not the one that people always choose. So I probably would never go Death or
the devil.
the Devil, just because of the. I think that's that's in my opinion what everybody would choose.
That's like the thing that jumps on, but you're like, let me represent something that's a little bit underappreciated. Okay, so out of all the cards and the art that I've seen, I love the Hierophant. I super do. But I don't think that we have a Hanged Man, and I really do like the Hanged Man. Like Prophecy and just, he's a weird character. Because you're like, really, Jessica? But I don't know. It's kind of, that's how I sleep. Like a 4. Not
Okay.
upside down.
So now that we've gotten that out, we were gonna wait just for you guys. That was it. We only did it for you.
Yeah.
Let's go see what these guys have been up to, because that's why you're
Back
really
to
here.
business.
It's not really for me. So here we go. We're back to the organic side here.
So cool. Oh, snap. Okay, top left. I thought they were just using the sphere to sort of like wrangle all of the fiber mesh, but they're turning her into like an astronaut character.
But which card?
Fudge.
Oh man, the Joker's got legs now. Okay,
Oh my God,
that's
he's
pretty
saucy.
awesome.
The fool. The fool.
Man, that's great.
Oh, he's got little like curly toed shoes. Yes.
And that just came out of nowhere. I did see him append the body, but
Yeah.
then the legs just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, so while we were on break for just about 10 to 15 minutes, the Joker, the fool got a body.
The fool got a body. We got a whole lion up there.
That lion, that's my friend.
And we think that's definitely the
Oh, that's strength for sure.
strength for sure. Yeah.
There's a couple places where cats and creatures are featured. You know, because we've got the dogs with the moon. The world also includes a lion, but not just a lion. There'd have to be like a bird and also a lion and a ram bull.
All sorts of different
thing.
creatures.
Yeah. A little bit more complicated. I think of all cards to pick that the world would also be a very complex and
For the different things, and also
difficult.
readable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, and the one in the chair just keeps getting crazier.
I can't believe how much work they've done. They've built the environment. They've built this character. We haven't seen it all together because they are
Still adding
hauling
stuff. Yeah.
tuchus getting stuff done.
So much stuff.
It's a ton of work.
We're almost down. We got 12 more minutes until we're an hour left.
Yeah, so we have an hour and 12 minutes. Joseph likes to give them a heart attack. No, because they can hear
Cryptic
us.
time.
We're in the same room as them. They listen to us, they might get the wrong information.
And let's hop over and see what the surface people are up to.
Yeah, we haven't watched them in a couple of minutes.
Some
snap.
gauntlets, some shoulder pads. Oh
The
man,
moon
the moon.
is wild. I'm here for it.
Uh-oh.
Oh, they even have like oh snap. So it's like the ocean and stuff is falling in the water. Yeah, they're super embracing the whole concept behind the moon. Like, the moon sucks. Don't draw the moon card. It means shit's gonna break, go wrong, and take your dog too.
And the chat was talking about corgis before we came back, so hopefully it's not a
really?
corgi. Hopefully it's not
could
taking
be.
the corgi.
Well, I mean, it's a robo corgi. It can survive.
And I think that other one, the middle one here, is also going to be I think we've got a fool there too.
I
Especially with the
love that
collar.
there would be two fools in the same group, so we get to watch them be developed together. I think it's like a really incredible way to sort of represent that classic court jester style. That's really cool.
But it's mechanical frills.
He was programmed that way.
I like the stuff going around his eyes too. You can see there's like little strenuous parts, sinewy parts.
Yeah.
Lots of little details. Do we still think it's a magician?
I do, or the Hierophant. You know, because like holding this whole staff or scepter, but it's on wheels. I wonder if the wheel means anything.
Because he made the wheel, so it's got to be in the image, right? So there's got to be some reasoning for it. But I don't know what. So the theme this year, this is the second group for the ZBrush Summit Live Sculpt-Off. The theme this year is tarot cards. So the contestants were given a list of the major arcana, and 20 of the minor I'm losing my pronunciation.
The minor arcana. That's like all the face cards and the aces. So we've got our pages, knights, kings, and queens, which all have their own special meanings and symbolism and whatnot. The minor arcana also includes suits, so swords and wands, cups and pentacles. Pentacles can also be replaced with coins, too, depending on what deck you're looking at. So it's got a lot to do with fortune and riches.
Yeah, and so each of the artists were given the list that we gave them, and then they took their 5 ones that they'd like to sculpt and ordered them in preference. And then we drew their names out of the hat, and they were given their choice, their top choice, depending on if it was still available. So there will be 2 decks of tarot cards out of this group. So there'll be a deck of 12 and another deck of 12 for the hard surface and one for the organic. And each of those 12 are going to be individual cards. There'll be no repeats in that set of 12.
Yeah.
So there won't be 2 deaths in the hard surface. There won't be 2 devils in organic.
But there may be a devil hard surface and a devil organic. But that's actually really kind of cool to see. So we won't see every single card represented, but we'll see a pretty broad array.
And then they were given about a month ahead of time for prep, so we gave them the topic, and they knew what their card was. And then so some of them have been preparing for a while now for this event. And then they had to start, the only thing they could start with inside of ZBrush was a text file for their custom UI or a text file for their hotkeys, so they could have 2 text files. We didn't allow
My hotkeys are sacred.
and that's why we went, because there would be a lot of people, a lot of contestants not happy if their hotkeys went away, or they had to set them all up as soon as they got here.
Got it.
So, but then no custom brushes, no custom materials, everything else, they could use only what ships with ZBrush. But they had fair use of anything, so they could open up projects, chop things off, use any IMM parts, anything.
Yeah, there's a ton of really wonderful Z tools included with vanilla ZBrush. There's anatomy figures, there's men, there's women, there's a dog.
There's a dog, it's not a corgi.
There's just a bunch of stuff that they can pull from, and kind of none of them have taken something and not changed it drastically.
Yes.
Like, even if they started with one of these base designs, it was really just to get them the geo immediately so that they could do what they had in their brains. And that's actually like the caliber of artists we're dealing with. They've all got strong design and artistic sense for what they want to create.
And only in 3 hours, too.
3 hours. A 3-hour tour.
So this is our
Gilligan's Island
6th,
next year,
I think it's our 5 or 6 Sculpt-Off here. I'm losing track of the amount of Sculpt-Offs we've had. Last year,
I've been
the
here
topic
for 4, so this is my 4th year.
Fourth one.
I don't know how long you were solo, but.
And so the theme last year was Alice in Wonderland. I see some comments in the chat about wanting an Alice in Wonderland theme. Last year, that was the theme, and you can rewatch
out all
it.
the art. It was really amazing.
And you can definitely rewatch that Sculpt-Off from last year. It's available on our YouTube channel. We'll probably get a link in the chat here for you guys for that. Check out all the great pieces of art which were created from the last Sculpt-Off.
You know, the moon is associated with the ocean as well. So it's like
It's changing the tides and causing things to crash.
They really researched their card and really are bringing every single aspect of it.
Ooh.
Gosh, that's really cool.
Got some
excellent hard surface example without taking it into techno.
Yes. Let's hop over to organic and see what's going there. If I press the right button. It's one of these.
Yeah, it's that one. You got it.
So we have our organic group here. Some of them already working on their final compositions.
So cool. Now, top middle audience, what character do you think this is? Which card do you think she represents? Strong contenders would be the Empress, the High Priestess, any of the queens. I'm not really sure.
I don't know. High Priestess, I'd say. I don't know. Empress too.
Yeah, no, it's a tough one because there's a lot of really strong symbolism with the halo, with the kind of wheat thingies that have a name.
Might have a name.
So like abundance and fecundi. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I only read that word. Fecund.
I don't know. You'd have to type it out.
Fecundity. Oh yeah, temperance is a really good example of that as well. Although I'd expect to see some
wings.
Well, you know what? That's actually up to the artist. That doesn't have to have wings to be temperance, but it could be any of the queens, like wand, cups, any of them. Really, really excellent though.
Oh man, we gotta go check out Mr.
Oh yeah.
He's got those rings.
Okay, I saw them working on
his goblet.
The hand. Oh, that's
awesome.
classy. Oh snap! King of Cups?
Could be King of Cups.
I still think the Fool.
Let's see. What we got for the Fool? King of Cups could be too. He's definitely got the crown.
Dang.
No fool for you.
Oh, but then let's research what the King of Cups even means. Because there might be something in, you know, these artists aren't slouches. They researched all of this stuff so they could bring the coolest piece of art together.
I love that he's sitting in the cup.
I still think it's the Fool.
You still think it's the Fool?
Okay, I briefly briefed over the King of Cups. He holds a short scepter in his left hand and a great cup in his right, and his throne is set upon the sea. One side a ship is riding, and on the other a dolphin is leaping. The implicit is the sign of the cup naturally refers to water, which appears in all of the court of cards. So, that's the Fool.
And we're sticking with it.
But I think that the representation of the crown and the chalice and all this stuff in the Fool, it has a lot to do with excessiveness and abundance and, you know, being in your cups, you know, because it represented also, the Fool was about overindulgence and manic kind of stuff. Delirium, right? So he's in his cups, right? He's drunk. I think it's the Fool. Super the Fool. Doubling down.
Well, the shoes. I think the shoes are definitely foolish
Little twiddly shoes?
Yeah, versus king's shoes. A king wouldn't wear shoes like
Had the king card kind of been a little bit more at play with the idea of water, maybe, but the king card was pretty straightforward. It was very noble. There was a dolphin.
There was a dolphin. This one just keeps getting more and more.
I know. I
crazy.
want them to show me all the bits.
Yes, all the bits.
Because there's a throne. There's, you know, the seated creature. I think it's the emperor.
I think you're right. I think that definitely.
Oh, it'd be so cool if it was the emperor. Because it's just, they're creating something super wicked.
The lion, I want to see where this lion one's going too.
Mm-hmm.
Using the multi-transform option in the Gizmo 3D, which will allow you to move, scale, and rotate multiple subtools at the same time.
Okay, I didn't know it did that. Tell me more.
So you just need to activate it, and there's those little pizza boxes that look like on the side there.
Oh, cool. Oh, is she snuggling her lion pet?
It's gonna be pretty awesome.
Oh, he's gonna be huge. I love this. It's the cutest. I didn't expect cute.
I didn't
from the
expect
tarot
cute either.
cards.
This is great.
All the artists with all their cool ideas.
It's pretty awesome.
Just really complicated. And watching them create all of the different elements that they're bringing together in this, like the individual flowers, the hair, like that's a lot of dang work.
It is.
Holy snacks.
And in
just
under,
about a, yeah,
2 hours.
1 hour left.
Yep. So this was all done, what you're seeing right here, in 2 hours. 2 hours.
I want a round of applause for how hard these artists are working, because beyond exceptional.
That's awesome.
Gosh, that's cool.
Oh man, look at the details on the...
Show me.
Show me.
Go close up. Oh, ooh. Rad. Like, this whole character has so much detail. And yeah, there's just a lot going on. It's pretty awesome.
All right, let's hop over to the hard surface side here. Oh man, there's like vines and stuff happening. We got vines. And leaves.
You're getting shade on the internet for not using Twitter. I love it.
Stealth mode. Stealth mode.
If you want to keep up with Joseph Drust and all that he's doing, you really just have to look no further than the ZBrush community. He's all up on. What are you working on this weekend?
This weekend?
Yeah, what's your presentation? I know you got some cool shit.
I don't know.
Stuff?
Can't say yet.
Oh, is it secret?
It's secrets.
Oh, well, continue watching the ZBrush Summit this weekend for more from all the awesome folks, including Joseph Drust.
All right, so we are under an hour. Under it.
Use your hashtag ZBrush Summit. Well, you can see me posting on ZBrush, or, with that hashtag. But I'm also like watching what everybody's doing while they're watching, with their feet kicked up with little slippers on, or watching with their family. I love that streaming art is something that you guys can share overall, that people from all over the world are tuning in for this.
Getting to the finals here, so we should start seeing a lot of these artists.
Now they just have to put the pointer finger down.
Uh-oh.
Just for me.
Just for you. They're
Do it.
listening.
Do it.
They're listening.
Yes. That's how childish. I am 12. I am 12 years old. I love it. Oh, that's a really cool gauntlet. Gosh. Just the creative mind to bring together this whole like robo-skeletal alien magic thing.
Magic thing. All right, well, let's see if we can jump to video showing of the artists that are in this group.
Oh yeah.
Show you guys
because
who
then you can
all's
see
in
some of
this
their
one.
work.
Because we are keeping this anonymous to keep it focused on the art.
Semi-anonymous.
Let's see if we can get a list of that. And we're back.
You can definitely agree that this is the cream of the crop of ZBrush artists.
Mm-hmm. Lots and lots of talent. And they're all here, crammed in this room. I'm breathing the same air.
I'm becoming more creative and artistically capable just by being in their presence.
It does make me want to just sculpt stuff. I should actually...
So, oh, well, you got yourself a computer that you can actually sculpt on. So, like on your airplane flight back home,
I did.
you totally
yeah.
could.
I picked up a little Surface Go.
That is the life. Sculpting on
and
the
it
go.
runs full ZBrush. So fun times. Fun
Heck
times.
yeah.
So if you guys are just tuning in, this is the Group 2 of the ZBrush Sculpt-Off for 2018. We have 6 organic artists in this group and 6 hard surface artists. Together we have a total of 24 artists, so 12 organic and 12 hard surface. And each category is facing off to become the ZBrush Organic Champ or the ZBrush Hard Surface Champ. So we have a bunch of tremendous artists here. The artists were given 3 hours from start to finish. So they started with basically nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And in 3 hours, they have to generate a final image. So a lot of pressure. There's a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress.
Yeah. Well, we already ran through our first half, the first 12, 6 of organic and 6 of hard surface this morning. You can catch that on replay, which will be posted sometime.
Soon, yeah.
Yeah, sometime pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
But most importantly, you're going to see all 24 artists' final renders up on ZBrush Summit? Or
ZBrush Central.
ZBrush Central.
And you'll be able to
tomorrow.
vote on them there for your favorite one.
Vote early.
And the theme this year is tarot cards. So the artists were able to pick out of a list of 42 cards. And they were able to choose their top 5 in order of preference. And then names were drawn out of the hat for each of the artists. And when you were drawn, we'd go through the list. And if your card was still available, that was the one you were assigned. So
Yep.
kind of like dealing the tarot card deck.
Yeah.
It's like that random
But
chance.
I mean, they got to pick what they wanted. I like the person that had the tower as one of their top cards. They were just like, give it to me. It's like, are you sure?
I want the tower.
I'm throwing a ton of shade on that card. I feel so bad.
And then the artists this year, not only just having 3 hours to complete the competition, we also only allowed them to bring a text file for their hotkeys and a text file for their ZBrush interface. So they weren't allowed to bring any custom brushes, weren't allowed to bring any custom materials. So they're pretty much only given the vanilla version of ZBrush, or the bare version of ZBrush that you get when you download it and install it for the first time. So
Yep.
everything you see here, they were allowed to use anything that ships with ZBrush, but they couldn't bring any of their own custom stuff.
Which means that you know, you guys can pretty much so follow along everything that they're doing.
3 hours, go.
Yeah, good luck.
And then also for the Sculpt-Off, we're trying to keep it as anonymous as possible. So even Jessica and I do not know which artists are currently sculpting.
And if you have kind of like an idea, don't share it. We want the art to be what everybody's judged on, not necessarily the artist.
So keeping it fair.
Yeah. You want the truly awesomest tarot card to win.
Here we have the organic side. See how these guys are developing up. So once again, we are under the hour marks. We have less than an hour left in the competition.
Really cool. Now this is a panic mode time.
Mm-hmm. Down to the final. Start prepping your image.
Mm-hmm.
Because the image is what's being judged as well.
It's really cool. Really beautiful stuff.
And Jessica and I also don't know what card the artists were assigned either. So not only do we not know which artist is sculpting what, we also don't know the cards.
Well, that's part of the adventure.
Yes, so we've been trying to guess which each card is supposed to be.
The Emperor.
Mm-hmm.
I am all in for it. There was a chance that it could have been a couple other things, but I'm super feeling the Emperor. The beard, you know, the wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
He's very aged. I think it's a really wicked interpretation. I can't wait to start seeing all the framing, like the final framing. You know, I wouldn't put it past some of these artists to wait until about the 30-minute mark to start framing stuff. Because like a lot of them are already bringing in like color and different material elements. And
it all depends on where your comfort zone is too.
yeah, and also like what reads best to you, like what you personally want to present.
Mm-hmm. So if you guys have any guesses for any of these, let us know too, because this one we're not quite sure on. The one you're seeing right now. We've had a few guesses, but I don't think we've nailed it yet.
There's a couple.
So we had people thinking that death was the number 6 over there.
Oh, you think?
I don't know. I think you're right with the Emperor.
Death is often represented as sort of like one of the four horsemen of the apocalypse. He's this kind of like noble knight figure, and there's a lot of things that are crumbling beneath him. I am not the end-all of knowledge about these things, and your guess is as good as mine.
So much detail. So much detail. Now let's jump over to the hard surface side and see what they're doing. So starting to get things together here. Lots of details. There's our moon. The moon's going crazy. Causing waves.
The moon is effing your stuff up. The moon's like, never mind. I'm not going to curse today. It takes effort for me.
So there is 47 minutes, about 47 minutes left.
That's so cool. We haven't really seen very many wings this weekend.
And what do you think this one is?
I don't know, but I love it.
The coloring's pretty cool too.
Yeah, just some stellar stuff. They're working as smartly as possible. So they're painting on their material instead of having to separate out the mesh manually. And this will also be transferred back over into Keyshot. So valuable time being spent separating stuff out. Really, really cool.
All right, so let's hop back to the big view again.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's see what's going on with all of these.
Eventually we're gonna stop zooming in. We're gonna be really kind of following everybody from like an eagle eye view because there's so much that's gonna go on in this last stage, and it's
Yeah, especially when we hit
moments.
the last 30 minutes, just to see where everybody's going together. So we also want to give a shout out to our sponsors quickly.
Oh yeah. The folks that make it happen.
We have quite a large set of sponsors here that have allowed us to, they've given us prizes and space and everything for the Sculpt-Off competition here. So first we want to thank Carbon, our third place winners in each category. So hard surface and organic will be receiving a print off a Carbon printer. So there is a size limit, as we mentioned earlier, but
that's true.
It's, the printer does some crazy stuff.
But it's a reasonable
yes.
size limit.
So it's
really
definitely
exciting.
a good prize there. So thanks, Carbon, for that. We also want to thank Form Labs. They are giving the winners, so the hard surface champion and the organic champion, a Form 2 printer. So after they're done with the Sculpt-Off here, they can go home and print.
So cool.
Their Sculpt-Off.
Just everything. I'll be like, oh, I need a new cup. Print.
And the winners also will be receiving these gigantic belts that we have behind us as well. Next, we'd also like to thank Noman for allowing us to use their space and their campus here. So Noman is kind enough. We're in one of their labs right now, and we have all the artists crammed in here, sculpting away. So if you guys have classes at Noman, you can come up to this lab and then just be like, oh, a Sculpt-Off contestant sat here.
Yeah, you could sit in the seats of some really talented people.
Yeah, yeah. So thank you, Noman, for that. Also, we want to thank Keyshot and Luxion. So they have given us versions of Keyshots for all our machines here that we're using at the summit. And this includes our presentation machines and also the Sculpt-Off machines here. So our artists are sending items to Keyshot for rendering using the ZBrush to Keyshot bridge. So thank you, Keyshot, for that. They're also going to be giving some prizes out too for the second place winner as well. Finally, we want to also thank Wacom. Wacom has allowed us the opportunity to use their Cintiqs and tablets in our labs here. They sent us a whole bunch of them. We have 8 Cintiqs out of the 12 artists that's going currently. So the largest amount of Cintiqs that we've had in use for Sculpt-Off yet. So
I personally use a
Wacom.
Cintiq, and Joseph here has transitioned over to a Cintiq.
It was scary at first.
It is scary, but it's also spoiling.
So thanks to all our sponsors for that. So we're at the 43-minute mark. We're almost halfway.
That's fast.
It is. Not a lot of time.
We are almost done with all of the sculpts. I'm actually really sad that we don't
Our
get to
time
watch
to an end
people.
here. So me and Jessica get together. This is about the only time that we get together is for
We live on
the
opposite
Sculpt-Off.
coasts. It's not because there's like tension or anything.
No, it's not like me and
No.
Paul. We just don't like each other.
No, but actually, one of the things that I am looking forward to this weekend is I can't get enough of watching people sculpt. I'm going to be eyeballing the computers where everybody's doing the 15-minute Sculpt-Off, like the Michelangelo challenge.
Yes.
It's going to be really excellent.
And that is a on-site event only, so you need to be coming to the Noman campus to participate in that. And the winner of that will be taking home an Ultimaker 3 Extended. So that is about it's a $4,000 printer that the winner is going to be taking home. So excellent stuff there, and thanks to Ultimaker for donating that for our Michelangelo challenge. For the schedule this week, before we get to the 30 minutes, and then we're going to just focus in on what's going on here. Friday, it all kicks off. So this is our initial start to the summit, which is the Sculpt-Off. And then on Friday, we'll start with the presentations. So at 12 o'clock p.m. on Friday. This is in LA time. Method Studios will start us off. The majority of these will end up being broadcast. The only ones that will not will be the Epic Game ones. Also during the summit, we are giving 20% off. So if you are on the fence of purchasing ZBrush, during the summit here, we're giving a 20% off discount, and this is in person and also online. So any of you guys tuning in that may be on the fence of purchasing ZBrush is 20% off across the summit.
That is a sweet deal, because that's forever. ZBrush gives you just everything that you should ever want.
Pixologic has never charged for an upgrade yet. I think I got ZBrush when it was $250.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
That's a sweet deal.
It is. And I've had it ever since.
Well, it's obviously worked out really, really well for you.
It has.
ZBrush is a really powerful program. I use it for a lot of stuff, actually. More stuff than it was intended for. I use it to help me pattern things for sewing. ZBrush is amazing. But as you can see here, obviously, with everybody doing wonderful, wonderful things.
Especially in the what can you do in 3 hours?
That is, it's a banana challenge that we're putting all of these artists up to, and they are killing it. But, okay, organic or hard surface first?
Organic.
Unnecessary sound effect.
So we'd love to see. Also, we'd love to see how you guys are watching the Sculpt-Off here, and also the summit over the next 3 days. So please use the hashtag ZBrush Summit and send in your images of how you're participating in the event, especially if you're online across the globe. We'd love to see you guys. You know, in the different countries. Earlier, we had a whole bunch of people tuning in from all over. We had India, the Philippines, all over the place. So tons of countries tuning in. So give a shout out as well in the chat here if you're watching us on Twitch here. Tell us where you guys are watching from, because I know it's early morning now in a lot of places here.
Aww, he's surprised.
We got some people in New Zealand.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, me and Jessica both think this is strength. I think
Yes.
that's what this one is.
Solid guess.
Oh man, lots of New Zealand's. Belgium. Good people from Belgium.
Everyone from
Brazil.
everywhere. Yay. Pretty sure this guy's the fool. Now, we haven't guessed for this
one.
even a little bit. There's a couple that sort of feature water in that way, like
Mhm.
Star does. Shoot. Best guess. It's really beautiful.
People from the
and just
UK,
like so graceful.
Arizona, Virginia,
Oh, yay!
Texas. So I got some East Coast representatives here. Hope you guys dodged the hurricane.
Oh, yeah. Well, that chilled out, right?
There was a lot of, we had a lot of flooding.
Oh, dang.
Lots of flooding. There's still highways shut down.
Wow. That is
Baltimore,
no joke.
Korea. Oh, we have somebody from Mars.
I don't believe you. Oh, wait, there is a city named Mars, like, somewhere, right?
Probably, I'm sure there is.
So we switched this one finally.
And then they switched it quick.
And they're like, hey, let me hide
You don't
that
get to
from
see the full thing.
you. We'll see it when we see the final render for the card, and I'm stoked for it.
So how many of you guys watching online now too? Give us a shout out if you're going to come in person. I'd be interested to see how many of you guys are coming out.
Definitely.
'Cause we got a lot of people who traveled quite a ways. I met a few people today from Florida and.
We had somebody post on Twitter that they're watching the ZBrush Summit from the airport because they're about to hop on a plane to come out to the ZBrush Summit, which is super exciting. Gosh.
And definitely say hello when you guys head over here. And make sure you guys participate if you're coming in person to the Michelangelo Challenge. So we are 37 minutes away.
Dang.
Man, there's a lot of Virginias in the chat.
Wow.
You guys should all get together and
Yeah, you should have like
make
a little
like
ZBrush
a
meetup.
little ZBrush meetup. Yeah. I don't know what this one is either. You guys have
No,
any
I
guesses
don't
on this
know.
one?
Maybe they're going to be reaching towards something, and that thing will inform us?
A cup.
Shoot, I don't know.
All right, I think we're gonna get this thrown. We're gonna go to it. We're gonna see it.
Yes. Like, look at all this work. You saw it though, which not just us.
You guys saw it.
You proved that it was there.
It was there for a second, and then it went hidden. So we got people doing the layouts now. So you can see the one we're pretty sure is strength. Is lining it up. Doing
Starting to get like the final
ZBrush material
looks.
passes. All right, let's hop over to the hard surface side.
Yes, let's.
I got renderings going on here.
Oh yeah.
So setting up the scenes, we're down to the last stretch here. That one's looking nice.
Yeah, that's really cool to see what materials they're using to bring out all these details.
Just the different breakups between the surfaces. It's so very clean too and crisp. And there's our moon.
So cool.
Oh, this.
Wow.
Two birds, lovebirds, lovers, maybe?
Cool.
Someone was
See,
guessing,
there was so
potentially.
much that was hidden when we zoomed in that I didn't realize that there was so much going on with the whole sculpt. Shoot, what is it?
What has two characters interacting, like lovers for sure?
Wheel of, no.
There's something with that was like spiraling. Any guesses, internet?
You know, I think the internet did guess lovers.
They
for
did say
that.
lovers. They even got lovers on this one.
I really look forward to the title of the card being added, which you will see when you vote. That's when, like, the final reveal, what were they trying to aim for?
Yeah.
There's just not really anything that I can think of, like...
The moon is making its appearance. Yeah, I don't know. Because there was some that had like characters that were falling, like the tower has falling characters.
But those really look happy.
They do look like happy birds. Oh man, I don't know what this one's gonna be either. Now we got these kind of symbol things going on the sides too.
So cool.
There is a tarot card called the Lovers. So it could be that one.
But it's like kind of depicting the whole Adam and Eve story, at least on our cards. So let me look what Lovers has to say. Oh, well,
Knowledge
I mean,
it up.
Attraction, love, beauty, trials overcome. So I mean, that can really be interpreted however. So maybe they've done these mechanical love birds. That's a solid guess. You guys are good.
Oh man, the moon's getting crazy.
I really dig the angle that they've chosen. It's very dynamic.
Mm-hmm. The split face too.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice. All right, let's hop over to the organic side. Your fool here's got some hair now, it looks like.
Oh, it's even better. Like every time we come back to it, it's just like better and better. They're doing eyebrows.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah, so we think this one's the emperor here, because he's on this throne.
Yeah, and he's got like this wisdom beard, and
But he's also kind of dying.
Hey, he doesn't have to be healthy to be the emperor. Hold on.
No.
Let's see what it says. Stability, power, a great person. Dang, even reversed it doesn't suck. Benevolence, compassion. Yeah.
We got some posing happening in some of these too now.
Nice.
Getting to the end. All right, so we are about 30 minutes remaining. So this is the final stretch here. So I'm gonna try to keep just out at like all 6 of them, and we'll switch back and forth between the organic and the hard surface. Once we end with the time, we'll ring the bell and everybody will be stopping, so pens down at that point. And then we'll go around and collect the images. And then these will be available for voting on starting tomorrow during the ZBrush Summit. And you can vote for the winner of the Sculpt-Off at the ZBrushCentral.com. Once again, if you guys are watching any of the streaming, please send us how you're doing it. We'd love to see how you guys are watching the summit. So take a picture. If you guys are in another country, we'd love to see that as well.
Yeah,
see how
we've
ZBrush is viewed and used around the world. And use the hashtag ZBrushSummit.
Yep, super easy.
So close to the end. So close. It's gonna be cool to see all these all together. Very painterly style.
Really, really cool.
So we have potentially the astronaut. They're saying they think they might be the Fool too.
No, I totally get what you mean, where it's like always reaching out into the sky. It's just so tough. I wish there was more symbolism. More, give me more.
More.
Only 3 hours? You could do even more.
Now let's hop over to the hard surface.
Yes, please.
So we're starting to align now.
Ooh, everybody's getting their final frames. And it's a very good idea because they've only got about 27 minutes left.
Not a lot of time.
That is stressful.
Down to the wire.
Who made the template for them to put all the stuff in?
Melissa, our
Right on.
wonderful Pixologic Melissa. Silence.
No, I'm quiet because I'm really interested in everything that's going on.
I know, we're like, I think
can't
we've
help
gotten
it.
closer to the screen.
Yeah, we're really entranced. Ah, this is just like this ghost inhabiting the armor.
Ah, I see it now. That's cool.
I was really sad before because they even did kind of like a bit of a sculpt on the hands, kind of with the fingers intertwined around the sword hilt. But now that, and I was like, oh, they covered him up. What a bummer, because that was a really cool moment. But now it makes sense because
It's ghosty. Yeah,
it's
that makes
just
a lot
like
more sense.
this sort of like vaporous person on the inside.
And if you don't see any screens updating, the artists here have 2 monitors, so it could be on that secondary monitor as well, sending things back and forth. Let's up over to the organic side quick here. These artists are putting together their images.
Really cool. Yeah, everybody's really getting that final frame set up.
Oh man, I forgot he sculpted the whole head, demon head. It was so long ago.
Yeah, that was. Very efficient artist.
That's pretty awesome. We had the first group had the one that was the similar kind of stuff, and it was the whole scene as well. So we've had 2 really good full scene ones that are like this.
Really cool. So much work and effort is going into all of these. Ooh, some super last minute adjustments to kind of like just get a little bit more detail in. Sometimes you don't notice that until you get it into the final frame with like your pose, that you're like, oh, I just need a little bit more volume here.
So for the entrance or the admittance into the Sculpt-Off, we actually release, I don't know, it was months and months before the summit announcement, we release an area where you can sign up for the Sculpt-Off, and you just submit your work, your ZBrush Central images, and all that. There's a link, and then the submissions. Anyone could sign up for the Sculpt-Off.
Yeah, so it's pretty welcoming. A lot of really good contestants.
So there were a lot of entries this year.
Oh yeah? Well, I mean, the prizes are good. The critical acclaim.
Mm-hmm.
It's an excellent competition.
We were talking about earlier, it'd be cool to do the international ones, where each
we are
area
getting
has
international contestants.
Mm-hmm.
But you think that there should be like an individual
like
little Sculpt-Off per region, so like
cool.
Asia and then Europe and America, South America, just like everybody just like brrr, all of the down unders. I see you in chat.
So we're 23 minutes left here, so we're getting down to the end. How many of you guys out there have stayed your whole? How many watched both of these?
Yeah, have you guys been in
not
this all day?
disconnected? I've been for group 1 and group 2. Any of you guys? Anybody? Anybody crazy enough to do that?
I think that there are. I think people are as interested in this stuff as we are. Like, this art is cool. Watching people create everything is kind of amazing.
So once again, the competition this year is the second group of the Sculpt-Off you're watching now. The replays for the Sculpt-Off will be available, so if you missed the first ones, you can come back and re-watch them. They'll be on the replay stuff. The Sculpt-Off theme this year was tarot cards. And so the artists were giving a group of cards to select from, their top 5, and then their names were drawn on a hat, and they were assigned the card of their preference based on its availability. So if you got chosen out of the hat and your first choice was taken, you'd move on to your second one.
Mm-hmm.
So each artist in organic has a different card, and each artist in hard surface has a different card. So we'll have 2 decks of tarot cards.
Really cool.
To be judged on.
I feel like there's only been a couple of repeats.
Yes, I think there was a wide range in which people chose.
I love it.
And the voting for this, for the winner of the hard surface and the organic competition here, will be done on ZBrush Central. And so that voting should go up tomorrow for Friday. So make sure you go to ZBrushCentral.com and cast your vote for the winner here. Now, when they're posted on ZBrush Central, you will know which card the art matches.
Yes.
So you won't know the artist's name, but you will know that if this character here is indeed the Fool, you will see if it's the Fool or not.
Yeah, the cards will all have titles, so it's going to be no longer the fun guess as you go game, which I actually enjoy. I don't want to have any expectations when I'm watching somebody create a piece of art, so I like the journey.
We're going to have to see which ones we were correct on when it comes out.
We will take bets. But I think that actually helps with the judging process. So like, if you know what they were aiming for, then you can be like, oh, heck yeah.
That is definitely
And
the
like
full.
vote, like click
Now,
so
if this
fast.
one was the chariot, I don't think that would match.
It would be weird.
It would be weird if it was the chariot.
Chariot is booze.
So we had questions about the surface. It runs well. It's all CPU-based ZBrush. So Paul, you'll definitely hear him talk about how he's still running an old MacBook Pro.
Oh my goodness, how does he manage?
He's been using it for a while. I think his time frame on how long he's been using the thing is, I want to say like it's at least, I think 8 years is what he said.
Oh my goodness.
8 years.
Does he have IT support just for it?
Not yet. I don't think he has Apple
My
Care
laptop is
either.
about 4 years old, and I was playing World of Warcraft on a too hot day, and things overheated to the point that it has never been the same.
It unfused the chip.
Yeah, something weird happened. So I mean, I think I'm a little bit harder on my stuff than, say, Paul. But yeah, I'm hard on my computers. Anybody at Blizzard would tell you that I don't break stuff. Stuff breaks.
Depressing.
It's different. That's totally the story that I'm sticking to.
So I never realized that even like your cell phones and stuff, they'll overheat.
Oh, they super do.
Yeah, and then they're like, you can't use it.
Yeah.
It's too hot, too hot, too hot.
I've had mine shut down on me. But then again, we live in California, so everything's like stupid
We just
hot.
have like the humidity where we're from, so we get the heat and the humid. All right, so we're down to the last 19 minutes. So not a lot of time here. You're gonna see the final stuff going on. Some of you may not see the final entry until it actually reaches the voting page on ZBrushCentral.com.
Because they've got 2 monitors, so
They do.
the final entry might end up being on a monitor that you're not seeing, and you're looking at maybe where they had been originally working. So don't stress. You'll see the final results.
And thank you guys for tuning in to the event here. We have 3 more days of fun-filled excitement for the ZBrush Summit. And we'll recap that before we leave you guys here. But we want to get just viewing the final entries here.
Keep this overview up for a little bit, just so you can kind of see where everybody's landing. Composition is really, really important for that last and final image. So many of the artists have been working from a very specific camera angle, like kind of angling everything that they're working on to snap to like front.
This is the final organic group here. And there's 12 total organic contestants. So this is the last 6 here. So our first group was this morning. You can rewatch that on the replay.
I just see in the comments that the water bearer, they think it's the Queen of Cups.
Ooh,
that is
that's a really good idea.
really
I'm
solid
liking this.
idea.
Yep.
I like it.
That's actually a good one. I like
That's
that.
a very intelligent guess. Because I was like, I don't know. Just super excited to see all these artists come together. These last 20 minutes are going to be kind of make it or break it. There's not a lot that can go back and sculpt, really. Like it's just like tiny little noodling here and there, getting everything working for their final render.
And they have to have the image completed by the time this is over. So 17 more minutes here. Let's hop over to the hard surface groups. So once again, getting their images together. A lot more of the hard surface guys are going the key shot route. So on the organic side, we have a bunch that are using ZBrush passes.
Some really excellent stuff.
So quiet.
Well, I'm just really interested in seeing what's going on. Like, This is so complicated, and it's coming so far from.
I don't know what this one is either.
I don't either.
We thought magician.
I feel magician is a solid guess, but there's a lot going on, and because they've taken it in such like a sci-fi sort of direction, that it could be anything.
And we're down to the, oh man, getting close. Getting close. To the end.
It's cool to see some really complex shader networks going on in KeyShot.
Nodes.
Yup.
And so there's an example of the card frame. The middle one there.
Ooh, they went more kind of tropical than.
Well, I think it may. You don't think they're gonna go back to the gold?
Yeah, do you think so?
Maybe.
Do you think this is just like a rendering pass?
Yeah, it's like bringing it in, and once they separate it, now adding. I don't know. We'll see. All right, let's hop over back to organic.
I think we'll just volley between the big screens.
Under 15 minutes. We're at the final stretch here.
Oh, yeah.
We're still here. We're looking very closely at the monitors.
We're really just as excited about what these artists are creating as you would be too. I love watching everybody's different workflows.
Up there's the fool.
Yeah, he's getting some really interesting lighting and kind of like color balance adjustments. Like really rad.
It's gonna be interesting to see who wins.
Oh, for sure. Because it's like, what are people going to respond to the most?
And they got so many incredible ones too this year. So let's hop back to hard surface.
Yes, please.
Try to go back and forth for you guys on these.
Super interested to see the final framing. Now, I'm thinking it's a fool with the bottom center.
Yes, totally. I'm with you on that.
Robo-fool.
The moon.
The moon. Probably lovers. I'm feeling for bottom left, the magician. It's just, he seems kind of powerful. He seems kind of wizardy, like a robo-wizard. I am no longer confident with the bottom right. Like I thought I was like, oh, okay, I can kind of see where this is going, and now no idea.
No idea.
Nope.
What about the symbolism on it? So we have like, it's like the arrows, it's the male and female, isn't that the?
Well, what about on our top left?
The knight?
Yeah.
Definitely, it's definitely a knight. But what is it a knight of?
But it's like entangled up in vines.
Which could be wands.
It's a ghost face.
So much stuff. All right, back to organic.
Yes.
Oh man, the Fool's got all sorts of stuff going on too. Yeah.
Ooh. Ooh, Z passes. Nice in depth, a little bit of AO.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, getting that final render, there's so many different ways to approach it. Either using Keyshot or using ZBrush as your render engine.
And even just blending them, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we're almost at the 10-minute mark. So 10 more minutes into the competition here.
Ooh, it's down to the wire. So beautiful. I'm just
So much
really
stuff,
impressed
yeah.
with what everyone's created.
Okay, let's hop back over to the. There's that one. I like this one a lot.
Yeah. Just like as a whole representation of strength.
Mm-hmm.
And skip over to hard surface.
Yeah.
Also, just so you know, ZBrush is 20% off this weekend, both online and here at the summit.
Yes, I forgot to. So for the summit, for the next 3 days, ZBrush is 20% off, and this is an online and also in-person special. So you can come to the summit and get the discount, or you can also get the discount online, and that's 20% off. So if you're on the fence for purchasing ZBrush, definitely now is the time. So the Lions card, we were thinking it is Strength.
Yeah.
So the tarot card named Strength.
That's our best
If you do any searches of the tarot card Strength, there's always a lion.
Ooh, the cool lower left hand, the angle that they decided to take this at. I really truly assumed that they were going to kind of like full face front. Like what they had been sculpting to was what they were going to pose it, you know, view it from. But I really like this angle that they've chosen. It makes it seem like even more powerful.
So we're down to a little over 7 minutes. 7 minutes remaining.
Not much time.
And let's hop back to organic. They're all coming together.
Really cool. I love seeing the final playing with color over in Photoshop.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Still not sure what this one is.
Yeah. I super look forward to it though.
Let's go back to the full list here. And they're all in about the same stage there.
Yeah, everybody's come such a long way, and especially since every single one of these started off as just a head, both organic and hard surface side. Like, you wouldn't think they would get this dang far in just 3 hours. It's just so impressive. Oh, hi.
We're back. 5 minutes left.
Very, very little time. Yeah. I feel bad for these artists.
It's like, surprise. So we have one of our artists here that want to give you a quick shout out.
Hello.
Hold on, let's find the camera here. There we go. All right.
Right here.
You gotta get in.
Scooch.
Thanks a lot for the support, family. I love you, my wife, my mom, dad, brother, sister, and thank you. Thanks for all the support.
So people viewing from all over the world.
It's true, actually. We've got contestants from all over, and just everybody's working super hard to be here. It was really great being able to have such a broad array of even new artists, too. Some of these artists have never competed at the ZBrush Summit before. You can actually kind of feel it in the room. Like, now that we're down to just
the
4
final minutes, like some of them are finishing up, some of them are comfortable right now.
Yeah, most everybody's gotten things to where they need to be, and it's just like a last little bit of touches, so less stressful. But let's go back to hard surface.
Yep, because we're down to the last. It's the final countdown. And we're gonna ring this bell again too. That's the
oh yeah, brace your ears.
Brace your ears. It's coming soon. We are 3 minutes away from bell.
Okay, this one I know that once they name the card, it's going to make so much more sense because there's a lot going on. They've chosen a lot of different symbolism, a lot of different artistic choices.
Once again, you're watching the ZBrush Live Sculpt-Off for 2018. These images, we've got about 3 minutes left till this group 2 is finished. Group 1 went this morning, and this will be the second group here. These are all images are going to be dumped, and then they will be put on ZBrush Central for voting, and voting will start tomorrow, so make sure you go to ZBrushCentral.com to see the final images of all these, because some of the artists are finishing their images on their second monitor on their machine here. Yep. And then make sure you vote.
Yes, definitely vote. You guys especially, because you've been watching the whole process, and you've seen how one is working to create these final images. And back to organic. I think we'll get maybe 2 minutes in of the overview of organic and then 2 minutes in of hard surface.
We're at the end. We're about 2 minutes out. So.
A minute then.
Yeah,
a minute.
Not a lot. So these are the final organics here. Finishing up, saving them out.
Getting your final framing. Oofed. Just incredible artists, really. Little sneak peek at what you're going to be seeing tomorrow on the website. So good caricatures, like so much personality.
So we have a clock behind us that's keeping track of the time, and we started it at exactly 3 hours.
Yeah.
And we have 1 minute and 40 seconds left.
Yeah.
So we're almost done.
Oh, we are in the last minutes, the last seconds. No, so overall, did you learn anything from our artists? Did you find any maybe techniques or approaches that they took to
There's
these
a lot,
characters?
all sorts of stuff, and definitely the choices in color and the compositions and I expected people to do a lot of stuff, but some of them just like, man, that was a lot of sculpting they went through and did.
Seriously, a ton of work.
Like full scenes, you know, in 3 hours. That's a lot of stuff.
Very, very much so. The economy that they approached this challenge with is really, really fantastic. I think that it was really smart to create a set frame that everything had to end up in versus like letting people sort of decide where their frame was.
Well, this all matches up and it's all coherent and it kind of fits together, and then, you know, hey, deck of tarot cards. Never know. You never know. All right, so we're down to the last 50 seconds. We got some of the artists already.
Yeah, some of the artists already stretching.
Here. They're
they
done.
Can't sit
They're
anymore.
done. They're getting ready to go run and get some drinks, celebrate for the completion of the event here.
Work, but I really appreciate everybody coming out and watching all of these artists compete. Please, please, please vote for your favorites. There's so many good artists. We don't want, we don't want to miss any of them. Just excellent, amazing pieces of artwork.
All right, we're down to the last 20 seconds, so we're gonna ring this bell. It's coming.
Oh,
the bell's
snap.
coming.
Yes.
We're down to the
I'll count down from 10.
Okay, ready?
All right. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well done.
All right. So we want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors here.
Thank you
as the room
so
is
much.
so loud. So we want to thank all our sponsors. So first we want to thank Carbon for giving prizes for our Sculpt-Off here. We also want to thank Formlabs for donating the first place prizes for each of the groups. Also, we want to thank Nomen for allowing us to use their facilities here and their labs. So thank you. I also want to thank Keyshot. So Luxion was gracious enough to give us licenses to Keyshot for all our machines. And finally, I want to thank Wacom for supplying the Cintiqs and tablets for the event.
Yep.
So this is the start of the summit here. We'll be continuing for the next 3 days. So tomorrow, which is Friday, the 28th, will be the first day of the presentations. And this will be starting at 12 o'clock with Method Studios. And these will be streaming and in person as well. The only one on this list here that will not be streamed is the Epic Games presentation, which will be on Sunday at 12:30. So in order to see that presentation, you need to be on site at the summit, and that's here in LA at the Nomen campus. But all the other ones will be streamed, so you'll be able to watch those online in the comfort of your own home. Also, as you guys are watching, we'd love to see how you're participating in the event, streaming it around the world. So send in your images, and you can use the hashtag ZBrush Summit. We'd love to see how you guys are watching this. And finally, ZBrush is 20% off for the summit. So if you're holding back on purchasing a license of ZBrush, now is the time. So the next 3 days for the summit, ZBrush will be 20% off.
Yep.
So thank you guys for tuning in and spending your hours of this day with us.
Seriously,
I
I'm
want to
glad
thank Jessica for showing up. She takes her time, comes out here and helps us with the Sculpt-Off, so we greatly appreciate it.
No problem. This is really like, this summit is actually one of the highlights of the year. I mean, I work all the time, and getting to associate with artists that are outside of Blizzard is really, really nice. But also getting to see a lot of the new tech, the new art styles, like just all the stuff that you guys show off here is really great. And since I'm going to be at work and at my desk tomorrow, I'm going to be watching online with everybody else.
It is Friday.
So I'm really stoked to be here. Thanks again for having me.
Hey, thank you. And thank you all for watching, and stay tuned for more ZBrush Summit over the next few days.
Bye.
Bye.